Hey everybody. Uh, Let me know if everything sounds okay. I think that this is my second stream now. The first one went pretty well. I spent like 8 or 9 minutes getting things sort of set up at the beginning. Hopefully, that's going to get more streamlined as we continue. So yeah, the plan tonight is to just play some 4-color Soulherder at first, at least, and maybe get into some other decks and formats later on. Maybe Mono Blue Pioneer, which I played at the end of last stream, or maybe just Modern Merfolk. I really want to run a league with Modern Merfolk soon. Maybe I'll just spend my next stream just entirely just running a league with either blue-green or just Thassa folk. I'm kind of starting to miss Merfolk again. I don't think I've played it since literally like July, because I went on vacation in August and then started hearing about Soulherder, and I was on vacation, traveling around, and on TCG Player just searching for the cards and ordering them so that I knew when I got home to New York, all of the cards would be sitting at home waiting for me. And then I bought it online and sort of haven't looked back since then. So the version that I'm going to play tonight, let me pull this up a little bit and get rid of all that garbage. The version I'm going to play tonight at first is somebody was chatting about Arkham's Astrolabe, and there's definitely been talk about this before in the 4-color version. It does a couple of really nice things for the 4-color edition of Soulherder. First of all, it helps us cast Siege Rhino, because the deck only has, the single Overgrown Tomb, the single snow-covered swamp. So often you'll have a turn where you have, 2 Assassin's Trophies, and you need to cast them both, or you need to cast a Siege Rhino and an Assassin Trophy, and you only have the one black source. Astrolabe helps a ton there. Another huge thing it does is on turn 2, simply being able to cast whatever 2-drop you have in hand. There's so many opening hands where I have like a basic island and a basic plains and need to cast Icefang Coatl. So you open with whatever land, play Astrolabe, follow up with the next land, and then you've got blue, and then filter the white for green, and you can cast your 2-drop. So in order to make space, I'm testing 4. It might not be the optimal number. 4, I might actually want to run 3. But for testing purposes, it's usually good to just jam 4 and see if it's ridiculous. So trying 4, and I played a couple of matches yesterday. It felt pretty good. I beat Titan Shift once. I beat Burn. I got a worship down against Burn, which is usually pretty good. So let's see. Astrolabe, and to make space for these 4, I trimmed my 3 princes. And I trimmed one of the forces. Don't have so many blue cards in the deck, and it's possible that I'm just going to trim even more forces. Maybe it's just a sideboard card. We do have blue. We can definitely cast counterspells. And I've had blue cards to pitch for this, but if we just look at the list now, it's got 4, 8, 10, 13, 17 is okay. Actually, that could probably support maybe 3 forces just as well. But since I needed to make some room for the Astrolabe, I'm currently at 2 Force of Negation. So I see Swana, am I saying that right? Ran 1 Tomb and a Watery Grave instead of Snow Swamp. And how did that go? I mean, it seems reasonable. It's just I do like having the basics. Sorry, I forgot to say another important thing that Astrolabe does is it turns on Death Touch with Icefang Coatl. So as soon as you have like 2 basics down, if you cast Coatl with basics and you have an Astrolabe, then pretty much automatically your Coatls are going to have Death Touch for the rest of the game. So still 3 Soulherders, still 3 Witnesses, still all 4 Assassin's Trophies. This is a pretty compact list because I trimmed princes in one of the forces. So just the snakes at the 2-drop creature spot, Witness and Soulherder, and Rhino. Everything else just kind of protects us. Force, Ephemerate for value, Assassin's Trophy again, sort of protecting us from what the opponent wants to do. And then you have the Oko plan, which tends to win games. So without further ado, I think I'm just going to go ahead and jump into a queue with this build. Like maybe not too many people are around this evening yet, but I'm just gonna start playing. So modern 2-player queue, and let's see. I don't know that Swamp feels so bad, especially with Astrolabe. I haven't really gotten wrecked by basic Swamp yet. Perhaps it'll happen in the near future, and I'll want to change that out. But we do have 3 rhinos and 4 Assassin's trophies, so we need black mana. All right, it's kind of a weird opening hand. The Astrolabe replaces itself. A mistake that I've made with Astrolabe a few times, and it's just wrecked me, is opening up with a dual land, because Astrolabe can only be cast with snow mana. So I got to open up with a basic to be able to play that. So yeah, no, I think that Swamp is probably pretty bad without Astrolabe. Or I have played with it, and it was still okay. I mean, but I could see getting screwed. This hand does not have a 2-drop creature. Astrolabe doesn't ramp us or anything. I think I can do better than this. I'm going to mulligan. So this is, I think, significantly better. Again, Swamp not mattering since I have Astrolabe. Witness's value. We only have 2 mana at the moment. Could blink Coatl to help draw stuff. We're not going to have too much in the graveyard at first, so I think that I can do without the Witness. Seems weird bottoming an Eternal Witness. All right, so I'll open up with the Swamp into the Astrolabe. Draw a card. All right, that's a decent one. See if we can use this black mana. I'm going to try not to fall too far behind on time. I'm already like 1 minute in the hole here. That was a nice draw. I think I'm actually just going to go ahead and cast an Oracle here. Potentially ramp us. So I think I'm probably going to want green, blue. Yeah, I guess just green, blue is sort of okay. Oh, that was pretty nice. My setup right now with the lighting and everything, this is just the lighting in my room. I'm probably gonna get some nice lights to sort of make the webcam look better. Might actually just get a better webcam. I think here I get white. I'll try to ephemerate, and if the opponent counters it, then we can just jam Oko, which seems pretty good. They could, of course, counter it. Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm getting distracted by my phone and the screen here, but they're thinking pretty hard. They probably don't really know what I'm doing, since the decks that play Astrolabe are usually, I guess, like Urza decks. So I'm gonna go for this, and if they counter it, then yeah, we get to jam Oko. They could just path the Oracle, I guess, too, which is sort of fine. All right, it's sort of okay. So with Astrolabe, it's not a huge deal what I have here, but I think I do want to get another green or blue land, so I'll just get one of these. I'll get the basic island out of there. All right, so now we'll just freely resolve Oko, hopefully. Opponent might feel silly for tapping out unless they have a Force of Negation. Looks like they don't. I could just start attacking with this Astrolabe, and I might actually just do that. Now we've got Force up if they try for Teferi or something like that. Of course, I could just Trophy Teferi on my turn if I want to. I had a game against Titan Shift yesterday where I attacked with 2 3/3s, flashed in a Coatl on the end step, and turned it into a 3/3 and then attack for 9, so 6 and then 9, so 15 across 2 turns. I think this is sort of okay, because I still have mana green and black, but then I can't cast Coatl anyway. Teferi is actually a huge pain in the butt, so I think I'm just going to counter it. Running low on cards here, but we do have Oko, which is a nice engine. Opponent is probably confused about what I'm doing. I've got Force so far, and Astrolabe, and Oko. Well, I guess they saw Ephemerate, so the cat's sort of out of the bag as far as the bounce plan. Somebody mentioned the line of bouncing or ephemerating an Astrolabe when it's an elk, and that's pretty cool. So if you ephemerate the Astrolabe, it comes back as an artifact, but it draws a card when it enters the battlefield. It's pretty nice. Opponent might want to activate one of these Fields of Ruin, I guess. I want to thin the deck, so I'm going to get a dual land just because, they can blow it up, but they're going to have paths throughout the match, and I want to have my basics in response to that. So I think I'm just going to keep making elks and attacking. Oko is at 8. Going to be a point where the opponent can potentially just bounce it with a Cryptic Command or something. They could, of course, they can't really snap path here. They can path one of these if they want to. It doesn't seem amazing. Do I have Trophy and Oko up? Let's see, green, blue. No, not right now. Not without my Astrolabe. I need double green, blue, black. Double green, blue, black. Maybe I do. So green, black. Oh yeah, I do have Oko plus Trophy. I've got black, green. Blessed Alliance. He's going to gain 4 life and make me sacrifice something. That's an interesting card. Go ahead and sacrifice the food token. One's going to take 3. They're down to 4 cards. Got a trophy for something. And there's no reason to run this Oko out yet. I can also trade something. I've got Oko up pretty high. Just don't have much to trade right now. Opponent appears to be having slight difficulties with their mana. And it's unfortunate that I might fix their mana a bit with this trophy. All right, let's float green, just cause. And get that forest. All right. Oh, that's a nice draw. Opponent could have Mana Leak or something, though, which would be pretty gross. So let's see if we can get something out of their hand here. Well, that's awesome. All we have left are forests, but that's enough to cast Siege Rhino. I think the opponent is just F6'd here, so it'd be nice if I had an Ephemerate with the opponent all tapped out like that. Verdict to get rid of the Rhino. Fair enough. And keep attacking with the food. And this land is pretty bad because it can only get our last basic. The opponent certainly has more paths in their deck. Terminus. A stupid card. I've played Hierarchs on turn 1 to have the opponent blind Terminus the Hierarch. It's the worst. So, I don't know. I'm not going to even crack this Vista yet. All right, so we create the food token and pass the turn, I guess. We've still got an Overgrown Tomb in the deck for 1 more black mana. And we still have 3 Astrolabes. So 2 trophies to answer any of their planeswalkers, I guess. So tapping out for Teferi is cool, because now we can just blow him up. He's going to bottom Oko, and it's interesting, actually. I can save the trophy now and just play the other Oko and activate my food. He's not even going to untap lands here. That's a fine. I mean, it is what it is. Blue, green, black, I guess. My lands are a little bit weird here. I can't get another blue source since I don't have any other fetch lands. Okay. I might want to run a second island, actually. So let's see. I've got my basic island, and yeah, I can't cast anything else. Teferi down. Opponent on 4 cards. They're going to go for my Temple Garden. I will float green again. But I only have green to get. Another Astrolabe would be pretty good. And this is just dead now. I can't get any more lands. Another Siege Rhino seems pretty good. I'll just go ahead and attack first, though. I think I can Siege Rhino and cast Coatl. Yeah, I can do that. So I think I'll just Rhino, right? Resolves, that's awesome. And make some food. Opponent clearly having a hard time dealing with Oko. I sort of forgot about the fact that the opponent tucked one of the Okos, but they made me shuffle, I think, since then, which was part of their plan, obviously. They could wreck the board here, but I've got a hasty food token coming. And a Coatl as well. Okay, so verdict is verdict, whatever. I'm going to play a Coatl, and they tap out to counter it. They're dead to the food token. They might just be dead anyway. There's that Astrolabe right on time. So I could do, like, Eternal Witness. I can't cast Rhino. But I will just go ahead and activate or wake up the food token. Keep putting pressure on the opponent's cards. I have a feeling, they probably have a path for this food token, making me play this out. Snapcaster to chump block. I can just Assassin's Trophy him and just end this. Although, if they pick a path, then I can't hit him with Trophy. It doesn't matter, right, what they pick, but it'd be smart to pick path because, yeah, there you go. So, can't Trophy him because they could just get a basic planes, which would be bad. Yeah, let's just let him chump block. Opponent is tapped out. Feels good. And yeah, I think I'm just going to Eternal Witness for Siege Rhino. I could go for like Ephemerate, but Siege Rhino is just good enough. Play out an Astrolabe. Can turn that into a creature next turn. All right, they're tapping a lot of stuff. Terminus. All right, so it keeps on coming, but I've got this Astrolabe, as I mentioned. And I also have, of course, the Siege Rhino. So let's just start with Siege Rhino. And that's it. So any of you guys who are watching the stream and haven't commented yet, just feel free to say hello. I like to know that people are around. I know that Swana is here. All right, so what am I going to do with the sideboard? Teferi's pretty fantastic. These control decks can bring in stuff like Monastery Mentor, etc. So I don't know that I'm going to take any of these trophies out. I'll have to think about that a little bit. They had Big Teferi. Thoughtseize might be a good one. I don't want to pressure my black mana too much. I've brought in a lot of black cards against certain matchups, and it's really tricky when you don't have enough black mana. So Disdainful Stroke is an option against Big Teferi, against Cryptic Command, that kind of stuff. I might bring in like one or two of those. Sin Collector seems awesome. Hey guys. Yeah, Bison. I'm enjoying streaming also. It's just time to sit down and play Magic, and it's just super cool if I have some of you guys alongside, sharing your observations, just letting me know like how your days went and all that stuff. So actually had a really busy day. Got up early, went to the gym, helped my wife with some work, then I did my own work. So we don't want this. It's not a combo deck. Need to focus a little bit. I think, these 4 cards are probably pretty good. I could potentially bring in another Disdainful Stroke. We didn't see too many Haymakers out of the opponent. Trying to remember what we did see. We just saw Snapcasters and Paths and stuff like that. But we want answers to things like Baneslayer Angel. We do have 4 Assassin's trophies, and then of course the Recursion with Eternal Witness. So let's just try like this. I like having the couple forces in. All right, and then what are we going to trim? Astrolabe is nice because it cycles, fixes our mana. Obviously, Oko's not getting trimmed. Soulherder dies a little bit easily. I can trim one of those. Siege Rhino, is obviously great. I'm bringing in one answer to something big. I can take out one of those. I've got Thoughtseize as help also. Don't want to trim any witnesses. Trim one Rhino and trim one Witness. I don't know. Witnesses are the best top decks though. So bring one Witness back in, get rid of one more Soulherder. And we'll run it like that. One Sin Collector, one Disdainful Stroke, one Thoughtseize, one Teferi. Well, this is nice. Nice-ish, I guess. I'll keep. So the resolution in today's stream should be slightly higher than in the last one. I think it's like 1920 by something. Last time it was 1600 by 900. I'm just sort of testing out what I can do with my bandwidth, and well, that makes me feel like I should keep running out basics. Unfortunately, I don't have any value creature to sort of go aside Soulherder, but I think I might just play Soulherder out anyway, let it start growing. If they want to counter it now, that's totally fine. I could additionally run out a second Hierarch, but I don't really feel like that's... Sorry, I'm not running out Oko into this like Mana Leak right here. So if the opponent... Oh, you know what? I can't... That's a little bit silly. I can cast Oko right now for green-blue, but I can't cast blue-white right now. I don't want to run the Temple Garden out because it looks like the opponent might be a little bit stuck. I think I might just run out this second Hierarch here, try to smooth the mana a bit. And then I could, of course, leave up, well... Okay, so there's that Mana Leak. I kind of like it. Particularly if they are actually stuck with... Now, the only big 3-drop that they could play next turn that I care about is Teferi, and if that lands, I can't Assassin's Trophy anyway. I'm going to go ahead and attack. And... yeah, well, if they play another colored source of mana, then I'll probably just run out my Temple Garden or whatever. Oh, so there it is. I could just keep drawing out counter spells. That doesn't seem terrible to me. Would really like to resolve this Oko. And then if we tap out, let's see. So yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and play that. And it can only blink the Hierarch right now if it resolves. But then if the opponent taps out, I get to play a Witness, blink it with Soulherder, get back some stuff. So it's kind of a weird choice for the opponent. It's just a 1/1, right? And they've only got, their limited resources. All right, so we got to resolve the Soulherder. And maybe they'll path it and we'll go get an island, which would be nice. Or maybe they'll just wipe the board. At this point, though, it's just a 2-for-1. Anything they tap out for is going to be pretty sweet. Actually, I don't have... If they wipe the board, it's rough because I don't have blue mana right now. They topped off of Opt. That rhymes. That's unfortunate. And that doesn't even put it in the graveyard. So Witness can't get it back. This is fine. Means that Oko is going to resolve, almost certainly. And I get to play a Hierarch. Seems good. Unless they have a Force, but then they're going down 2 cards. We've still got Eternal Witness. Okay, they're just cycling Hieroglyphic Illumination. Oko makes some food. Not quite ready to turn Noble Hierarch into an Elk yet. And we're sitting kind of pretty here. I've got Assassin's Trophy up if they go for Jace or something. Yep. Fate Sealing me. If I draw another Hierarch, I can just kill him with Exalted with the food. So he put the card on top. Not a lot we can do about that, but he is tapped out, so I can just resolve Eternal Witness right now if I want to. I don't think I really want to let this guy brainstorm. I can actually Assassin's Trophy and then just get back Assassin's Trophy. Actually, let's see if we can do that. If I get another green, yeah, then I cast green, green. Seems decent. Green, 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 3 green this turn. Yeah, so let's start off with that, I think. Unfortunately, it gives the opponent like untapped mana right now, probably a plains. We want to get another blue source and a white source, so Hallowed Fountain sort of fits the bill. They do have Field of Ruin. Oh my god. All right, well, yeah, that's fine, actually. I didn't need to do that right now. I'm sort of getting a little bit mixed up. But Assassin's Trophy seems good here. And then we can turn this in... Oh. Sequencing is a little bit weird here. Oko first. It didn't need to take the hit from the Hallowed Fountain. Fortunately, it's not a matchup where it really matters. Opponent could wipe our board again. They probably brought in a lot of board wipes. Something like timely reinforcements would be annoying. So what have we seen? Anything big? We saw a Jace. We saw a Hieroglyphic Illumination. So it's possible I might want to bring in... And if there's Baneslayer Angel, there's Terminus. We should probably bring in all of our Disdainful Strokes. I think that I just only brought in 1. Trying to keep my creature count pretty high. Yeah, only brought in 1. All right, opponent choosing... Well, that's a pretty nice card. I think I'll just go to attack with the food token. Opponent doesn't have a path in the graveyard yet. tapping and drawing a card. Well, that's sort of okay. Okay, if I... Don't really want to run out Eternal Witness yet. That'll be much better once we get like an Ephemerate going. So I'll just make some food. Pass the turn. The foods play around the board wipes pretty nicely. Okay, hold on. I have my opponent's hand. Oh, guys, I'm sorry. I try to remember about that stuff. I had it set up for the the screen when I started, but I forgot to adjust this thing here. Okay, this is on my end step. We can go ahead and get our basic planes. So I hope that's a little bit better now. You guys can see the opponent's hand size. I gotta remember to make sure that my window is sized correctly because it has the Twitch frame around it. Also running a little bit low on time. Opponent with 5 cards. Just going to attack with 1 food token here. They're really being aggressive with these taps. There's still nothing for me to get back, so I will play the Vista. Actually, I'll make more food, I guess. Need to play a little bit faster. I need to have, if I lose this game, I need to have at least something like 8 minutes left. So opponent is behind on lands, but I mean, they shouldn't need too much more. Well, okay, so tapping pretty low each turn. I'm not really forcing their hand too much. But now oh, wait a second. Yeah, should have cracked that first. I mean, I couldn't have gotten the Temple Garden anyway, but I'm going to make this into a creature and attack with both of them. Yeah, let's attack with everybody and bring her back. Okay, play that and just pass. See you later, Riker. Thank you for tuning in. Well, there's a colonnade. We might want to trophy that, depending on what the opponent plays. Teferi is annoying, but sort of whatever, I guess. I think I'm just going to wake up another food and attack with 2 things again. Another Oko is pretty sweet. Opponent does have 6 cards in hand. Okay. So I guess, I don't know if you'll want to chump this or not. I guess he does, protecting that life total. They still have a lot of cards in hand. Teferi's not really bugging me at this point. I guess they can activate Colonnade and attack Oko, but Oko's at 13. They could also wipe my board on my turn, which is terrible, but or whatever. Colonnade is an annoying blocker. We do have the Assassin's Trophy and the Eternal Witness. Go get my last basic, I guess. This game isn't looking amazing at this point. The opponent just has too many cards in hand. Alright, so now I'm going to Assassin's Trophy. Maybe he'll just go like Cryptic Command. You know what? Man, that was... It's late in the day. I probably should have just like gone to attacks first, let him activate it. You know, I'm just that was pretty poor. All right, so yeah, let's just go to combat. I could make Noble Hierarch into a food token, I guess. I mean, into an elk, a food token. Obliterate. I don't think Oko can get banned in... Oh, I can't play at instant speed. That's obnoxious. Any order, please. Yeah, any order. So, let's see. We're gonna make some food. So this counter spell is a little bit dead right now. Okay, I'm gonna get back Assassin's Trophy. And yeah, I don't want this Teferi to tick too much higher. It might be hasty here, but I can't play at instant speed with Teferi on the board. Wait a second. Yeah, that was an awkward turn. The opponent had the Dovin's Veto. All right, so be it. We've got some more creatures coming. The opponent is getting lower on cards. Unless they have another Colonnade, which they may well have, I can draw into an Ephemerate. But I can't really use it to its best with Teferi on the board. Hey, Shell Twitch. It's going okay. I won the first game against Blue-White Control, but then... I don't know, they have this Teferi down, and I drew into a counterspell, so it's starting to cramp my style a little bit. Oh, so he just tucked Oko away. That's a little bit annoying. I do have another Oko. So I'm going to play the other Oko. You know what? I'm going to run this guy out first, I think. Well, I've only got 2 blue, so I've got to be a little bit... I can't play... You know what? I'm gonna go to attacks, I guess. No. I'm gonna play Teferi, Oko first. Opponent could have another counter, but looks like they don't. So we're going to go for, well, getting both Planeswalkers out, I guess. Surely they have to have something here. Time Raveler and Dominaria. They could have Snap into whatever, which would just be terrible, I guess. But once they get Teferi on board and they've got a whole bunch of mana and cards in hand, can't really do too much. So, well, they don't have a path in here at least. So at least one of the Planeswalkers should eat it. Probably Time Raveler or whatever his name is. Think carefully, opponent. Yeah, so they're going to let Little Teferi go, which is nice because now my counterspell is back online, which unfortunately does mean I can't play out this Oracle right now, but that's sort of fine by me. Of course, they're probably just going to say go, but they could try to play a Baneslayer Angel or something, in which case I want to be able to try to at least counter it. Oh, that's obnoxious. You could bounce my food token. Okay. I might just have to scoop this one if I want a chance at winning the next one. I've slipped too far behind on time. You know what? I'm gonna concede. Unfortunately, the opponent has too many Planeswalkers. So we definitely want our counterspells. Unfortunately, I've only got 2 in the main deck, but I can bring in more Disdainful Strokes. I'm gonna want just more high impact stuff. So I was a little bit rushed in my last sideboarding, so gonna bring back in the Siege Rhino. I guess I could Unmoored Ego for Little Teferi or Board Wipe, I guess. Either of those would be sort of reasonable. Actually, I kind of like that idea. Let's see how many cards I have left. I'm gonna probably just trim this Soulherder. They're too easy for them to remove. Assassin's Trophies were good, but there's just not that many permanents that we need to answer, and we can hold on like the entire game with them. So possible they don't. There's not too many huge spells. Maybe 2 disdainful strokes. If I bring in the 2 unmoored egos, that's great. I mean that's okay. Still have 62. Thoughtseize I still like. They don't really threaten my life total, and I can just keep taking cards out of their hand. Sin Collector similar there. So then what is the cut here? Shell Twitch. I mean, there are some matchups like against creatures where they don't have a lot of removal, so Soulherder can stick around a lot more easily. But it's true. Sometimes I cut Soulherder and then I just want to draw it. But I still have Ephemerates left in the deck to blink things, so there's still the blink value left in that sense. It's just Eternal Witness can create these crazy loops with Ephemerate. I guess it also works with Soulherder. But it's just very fragile. You saw how many board wipes they have, so I'm gonna leave them in the sideboard for now. Let's see, let's focus. Maybe I have enough time. Well, no, I want to be able to resolve or get at least a chance at casting like a turn 2. Like the idea of trimming hierarchs. I guess I can trim a land, one of these basics, because they path everything. And then what else? I don't know. I guess I'll keep one of those rhinos trimmed. Probably wrong, but okay, this looks fine to me. I can go, yeah, that looks fine. And I need to play slightly faster than before. I can go turn 2, Sin Collector. Only gets instants and sorceries, doesn't get planeswalkers, but sort of okay. Actually, no, it's not turn 2. It's turn 3. This is not ramp. Getting a little ahead of myself. Hierarch is ramp. Just trying not to time out here. Okay, that was a nice draw. Go get Overgrown Tomb. Oh, wait, no. Oh, guys. I'm playing too fast. This is terrible. Now I can't cast my Astrolabe. Ridiculous. Really, really ridiculous. So now, this is tricky. I can just let them counter a Sin Collector. This is, I don't know. I could also try to Astrolabe to draw a card, but then it's not too much else I'm doing this turn. Yeah, let's just go Sin Collector. I have to play a little faster, and I'm not setting myself up to win here just by immediately misplaying on turn 2. No, I can't filter Snow Mana with Astrolabe, right? It doesn't make Snow Mana. Just makes different colors. So unless I'm missing something, I just misplayed. Like I needed to cast Hierarch with the green mana here, and then use this Snowland to cast the other Astrolabe. No, I can't make Snow Mana. I just showed you guys. Right? You tap it to make 1 mana of any color. And unless the fact that it's a snow artifact makes it. So what does this guy have in his hand? Okay, so he's pathing him. That's actually pretty nice. They don't know that I'm short on lands yet, so we'll get this and try to play faster. The Baneslayer is in there. We're going to piece that out. Just pass the turn. Okay, so we have to try to capitalize. They're going to play this Opt. Capitalize on the opponent's kind of slow hand. We don't have anything that answers the Baneslayer yet, but I should have 3 Assassin's Trophies, or I guess 2 Assassin's Trophies. All right, so they played the Island below 6 minutes. And as far as we know, they have no way to answer this Rhino, and I've got Ephemerate up, so let's just go nuts. That's ridiculous. I can't believe. And I'm again sort of playing fast because I should have. I guess I was planning on ephemerating. Should have just tapped these lands, and I don't know. I would still love to play this Astrolabe. The opponent countered my Siege Rhino, but I can get it back with Witness, I guess. I'm not rushing here. The opponent, we know three of, oh, we don't know two of their cards, I guess. They have a Dovin's Veto and a Baneslayer. Baneslayer is annoying, sure. Oh wait, that's not what I wanted to do. Astrolabe. If they tap out for Baneslayer, though, I can, I guess, well, this is all pretty decent stuff. All right, I just have to not time out, I guess, now. Attack or don't attack? Probably don't attack. Oh, you know what? I can filter this and Assassin's Trophy if I want to. Field of Ruin. It's okay. I just have to, I don't know. I have to let this happen quickly. Kind of meant to click the swamp there, but it went onto the forest anyway. Kind of a mess here. Three unknown cards. The opponent taps out. Fine. Let's see. I'm going to Assassin's Trophy. Wait. Attack with the Witness. Careful with my mana. Let's see. We want to filter green, I guess, for black. White. Green. White, I guess. No. Blue. Okay. And I guess just pass. They probably have a board wipe. I think that I would probably just Tension Sphere. Oh, they have Dovin's Veto, right? So yeah, that's fine, I guess. I can ephemerate an Assassin's Trophy to get back the that's nice. Thoughtseize. They're going to Dovin's Veto it, of course, that's fine. Go to attacks. Attack with both, because they could just path one of them if I attack with Exalted. I'm going to ephemerate the Eternal Witness right now. And I'm going to get Assassin's Trophy back. And I'm going to Assassin's Trophy this right now. And I'm going to pass to the opponent. So sorry if I'm not paying too much attention to the chat. I'm I've let myself get way too low on time here. I've got the opponent effectively at 2. since we've got a Siege Rhino blink here. All right, well, at least now they only have 2 cards in hand. They're putting something on top of their library, or perhaps not. They can choose not to, I believe. Oh, well, Shell Twitch, thank you for that. It's good to know. Let's see if they decline to do that, or if they want opt on the top of their library. Yeah, they chose not to use it, so let's see what happens here. So Teferi, sort of okay, I guess. And then we'll see what he does. Trying to draw a card. I think that I will ephemerate this dude in response. If their last card is a counterspell, that's sort of okay. Or a path or something. Okay. Yes. Snow-covered swamp and F6. So we're going to get to ephemerate Eternal Witness. We can, let's see, untapping 2 lands. We can attack in the air for 2. That was perhaps... Okay. Wait, what's happening here? You know what? I probably should have made one of my Astrolabes into a dude, but I didn't. But I might want to just Thoughtseize now. You know what? No. Let's keep some cards in my hand. Board wipe doesn't really do very well for them right now. Hey, Drake or Drakenar, I was putting Oko back. That's or tucking it. I guess that's annoying. All right, so I do want to get whatever card they have in their hand out if it's a counter. I guess I could get is pathing this. Okay. No more lands. Shit. Okay, maybe draw another Oko, I guess. Okay, play the Hierarch, swing for 3 in the air, GG. Seems good to me. See, sometimes Hierarch is the best top deck. With less than 2 minutes left on the clock. Thank you, thank you. I don't think I played perfectly there, but we learned that Astrolabe can make snow mana, I guess, which is pretty sweet. So what were you guys saying while I was barely winning against blue-white? So yes, thank you, Shell Twitch, very much for looking that up. That's really, really good to know, right? So I can cast one Astrolabe off of mana that was filtered from another Astrolabe. So I'm going to take a sip of my beverage here. Yeah, so Xaxes, I totally could have ephemerated to grab Assassin's Trophy at some point. It's definitely on my mind. It's just that I had the flyer and I was attacking with Exalted, but making an Elk and attacking might have been a better line there. It's just I was a little bit little bit mixed up being under 2 minutes. Like I just needed to think as fast as possible and didn't process everything that I could have possibly done, I guess. So, all right. So for those of you guys who tuned in just a bit late, this is the deck that I was just running. I trimmed 3 Charming Princes and 1 Force to make room for 4 Astrolabes. And this 4-color build in general, I feel like compared to the other, like the banned version, it takes me just longer to play my games. I guess I need to spend more time thinking about every land drop, and that adds up. And so I just fall a little bit further behind. Hopefully that'll just get better as I get better. Not sure if I sideboarded perfectly in that match. Didn't get to see Teferi. That guy just usually slams the door. Thoughtseize was pretty awesome. Knowing what the opponent had in hand was really excellent. Then I ripped that Assassin's Trophy, was prepared for the Baneslayer Angel. I was a little bit aggressive with Ephemerates. Like you want to leave those, if possible, to counter removal. Like if you get the opponent sort of backed into a corner and then they try to path the Siege Rhino, then I guess, to make a bad pun, I guess, if they blink first, right, then you get to follow up with your own blink with Ephemerate. And in that sense, it sort of acts like a counterspell. But if you go for it first, then any counterspells in their hand are just, or removal in their hand, they can just respond as they feel like. But if they play first, like if they feel forced to kill the Siege Rhino, then Ephemerate is really sweet, because not only does it get the Lightning Helix, but it saves your creature, it counters their removal. It's just pretty good like that. So Drake, you're saying you think that not making the Elk was the right play. I got him for 2 guaranteed. Yeah, so it worked out pretty well. If I open that up, I guess they would have chumped with Snapcaster. They had this Teferi that it can -3 to bounce things. Otherwise, he's just drawing cards. I was going to have to start worrying about this Colonnade. That would have been a good reason to try to Ephemerate a Witness to get a trophy back, because this guy just shuts down my attacks. Yeah, it's a pretty tricky play from the blue-white opponent with Teferi when they tuck your card, and then if they never want to see it again, they just Field of Ruin you, and it shuffles it away. So Oko did great in that match. It's clearly just like ridiculously strong against blue-white. They were fortunate enough to draw the Detention Sphere, but I was able to trophy it, and then I got another trigger when the Rhino came back. So Rhino, obviously really good in games that go long. So I'm not sure that it was correct to trim one. I did trim all of the Soulherders, and as you saw, I got the job done. I'm just not sure that Soulherder is going to be better against control than any of these cards that I have in. Like, how do you guys feel? Like Soulherder's role against blue-white. Now, what Soulherder does best is he gets to a certain size, like maybe 4/4, and then against creature matchups, he's just kind of a gigantic wall, and they can't really attack into it because they'll just lose a creature every turn. And then eventually, you might draw Winds of Abandon, wipe the whole board away, and it's kind of a synergy because if you exile 6 creatures, Soulherder gets +6/+6. So Drake, I can go back and show you the sideboarding. So I took out 3 Soulherders. I took out 2 trophies. I took out 1 Siege Rhino, and actually trimmed 1 land, 1 basic, just because they give me a lot of lands. And yeah, so that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards out. And I brought in 2 Disdainful Strokes and 2. I decided to try my 2 Unmoored Egos. Let's go back here for a second. I brought in the 2 Unmoored Egos, Sin Collector, Teferi, that's 4, 5, 6, Disdainful Stroke, and then Thoughtseize. And I think, all those cards are pretty bomb. Sin Collector, I can't remember. Did Sin Collector take something? I need to go back. That was just such a... I guess, did they count? No. What did I do with Sin Collector? I think they just had a path, and they cast the path. It's weird that I can't remember that. Maybe I took nothing. So yeah, I don't know if I took anything. Because I cast it, and then they pathed it, and then they revealed their hand, and then they cracked the land, and I don't even know what was happening. They opted. Oh, so maybe they just played both of their cards that I could have taken? I don't know. It's strange. Yeah, Drake, I agree. I think Soulherder is it can just get pathed very easily. They clearly had access to like at least 4, if not like 6 Wraths post boarding, so yeah, anyhow, can you guys see in the stream, like, yeah, I guess, let's see, I can see on my phone here. I just want to double check, make sure that the whole battlefield, oh, it looks like I'm actually just kind of clipping the battlefield a little bit. Anyhow, I guess it's okay. So I think I'm gonna just jam one more match with this deck and see how it goes. As you saw against blue-white, they tend to run a little bit long. But I'm going to jump in another queue. It looks like... Oh, is this the guy I just played? Because I'd really rather not play blue-white control again. Where are we going? So I'll make sure that I adjust the game window to make sure that you guys can see how many cards the opponent has. See the time, etc. Wait, Lord Avatar. That sounds familiar. It sounds like a Merfolk guy or something. Well, so I did a video on these kinds of hands on whether you should keep 1-land Hierarch with 2-drops, and I discovered through just math and jamming mulligan hands that you should keep it on the draw, and so I'm going to do that. Opponent's mulliganing anyway, which in theory makes the keep a little bit stronger. All right, so they're at 6. Hopefully it's not Tron. We do have a trophy for that, but no black mana currently. Not Tron. So they're going to take the Hierarch, which, you know, sometimes it happens. But I'm going to draw land, so it's all good. Oh, they took the trophy. That was interesting. I guess they have removal for the Hierarch. Yeah, so as mentioned, I knew that land was going to come. My deck loves me. Spire of Industry. This might be the jank that I played against yesterday. It was really insane. It had like a mix of... Yeah, I think this is it. All right. So hopefully this is the deck I'm thinking of because it was pretty bad. I'm going to go Oracle and see what he hits. Probably should have waited to play the land. You typically want to play out any draw effects before you play a land. Okay, so we can play out another Quaddle, or we can Ephemerate. This is not a counterspell deck. This is actually like an Oko deck, if it's what I think it is. So yeah, I'm going to pass. They have like Infernal Tutors, and they grabbed an Oko, and I was able to Assassin's Trophy it. They have main deck... what is that card called that pings when you tap artifacts? I don't know. I'm getting tired. It's 4 mana, enchantment, red. Deals 1 damage every 2 artifacts you tap. Yep, gear up our Aether Grid. I know that. It's just the 10,000 magic cards in my head. I couldn't bring it to the front of my brain in time. Is the opponent light on lands? What are they thinking about here? Spellskite in the main. Spicy. Okay. Okay, well, alright. It's, I guess I didn't get to see the combo when I played yesterday. I guess I'm not going to have removal for this, but I can get down my flyer. Let's see what they search for. They had Arcbound Ravager though, so it's not like a regular Thopter Foundry deck. I didn't see Goblin Engineer yesterday, but still, how many decks run main deck Spire, Spellskite, it could totally be something else. It probably is. This random deck that I played against yesterday is just... The one upside in this situation against this combo deck in game 1 is that they're definitely short on lands. So I guess Assassin's Trophy is good off the top for Goblin Engineer. I'm going to get, I guess, Island, and then maybe Overgrown Tomb. Don't have to worry too much about my life total. I'm already ahead on time, so don't have to worry about that either. Tomb. Get to get in with Exalted. I mean, it's something. Gear per Ether Grid, I'm pretty sure it costs 4 mana. Doesn't it? Does it cost 3? Well, actually, Soulherder is pretty nice in this spot. Soulherder and Ephemerate. I get to start growing the Soulherder really fast. Assassin's Trophy. Deck, too good to me today. So I guess it's basically, I mean, I am going to help them with their mana a little bit, but it just leaves the Thopter Foundry stranded. So I think that, all right, so it's 3, not 4. So currently, let's see. They can only activate this if they control an artifact, so I could just be greedy and try to blow up Spellskite. But first I'll just go ahead and attack in the air for 2. Because they need red mana to activate this thing. I could also just blow up this land, but then they'll probably go get a mountain. Blowing up Spellskite doesn't seem terrible. Giving them a land is the only thing that seems bad about that idea. So this thing puts it from the graveyard to the battlefield. So I'd rather that not happen. Oh, but you know what? I can go for it, and then they'll redirect it to Spellskite, of course. But I think that's kind of what we need to do anyway. So if I get white here, I think I'm good. Yeah. I'm going to go for the Goblin Engineer and make them pay for the Spellskite redirect. Just go green-black. Sequencing on this might be a little bit weird. I'm giving them mana. I'm tapping out so I can't use Ephemerate. If they have like a push in their hand. Okay. Oh, they let it die. Well, that's interesting. All right, so then here, I've got lands. I think I'm just going to blink this thing. And at this point, they're kind of the same since I don't have a land drop anyway to make. Rhino is beautiful. Opponent doesn't know about it. I've got Ephemerate all queued up. So hopefully they keep whiffing on lands. If they stick a like an Ensnaring Bridge or something like that, it would be annoying. Glimmer Void, I can blow that up if I get rid of Spellskite. Down to 2 cards. We are going to attack in the air again. Play out 2 Soulherders and then they both start growing at like insane rates. I don't also get outside of like damage base. I mean, these guys aren't running I guess they are running some snow lands. But if they run that Black Sweeper in the main, you know what? I'm going to just play Rhino and then start blinking it. Can't see really anything wrong with that approach. Wait. Untap that. I guess I can tap that. Yeah. All right, get to blink this on the end step, get to Ephemerate it if they try to kill it. So, you know, you play against some jank in the queues, but, you know, this could just be some, I don't know, just some Thopter Foundry combo deck that is trying to run Goblin Engineer. It's only that, you know, now that we have Emery and Paradoxical Outcome, that these sort of slightly older builds just seem really quaint at this point. Opponent is tanking here. So, going to go get something for 2. I think I can let that resolve. I mean, Ephemerate in response. Okay, so they got a Thopter Foundry. Now the opponent is just dead with rebounded Ephemerate. Dead in a number of ways. Alright, so opponent untaps. 2 cards in hand. They've got the Thopter Foundry. But well, I guess they gain life, right? If they have the sword. But I have big attacks next turn. Got 5. There it is. All right, and no way to immediately deal with that. They can only gain 2 life, as far as I understand here. Who are they looking at? Me? I guess so. I think they might even know about this. No, they only saw the land. So they are empty-handed. They can make blockers and gain 2 life. But actually, I get to play another Soulherder. Yeah, this is over. So you get 3 here, 3 on the rebound, and then 3 on the Soulherder trigger. So the opponent, yeah, just scoops. All right, so we get to bring in Force of Vigor. We get to bring in Collector Oof. I guess it's a combo deck, so Thoughtseize is good. Unmoored Ego is good. Sin Collector, probably not necessary. Plague Engineer naming Thopter seems pretty solid. Disdainful Stroke, not amazing. Celestial Purge deals with the Goblin Engineer, but not much else. Fatal Push can get rid of Urza. If I have a fetch land. Worship is interesting. Pretty sure I'm ahead on time significantly if I want to just time the opponent out. Yeah, I don't know. They're not. Worship is good against decks that pressure your life total, and Thopter Foundry isn't really one of those decks. Teferi seems bad. Sin Collector seems bad. Currently, we have 6 cards set to come in. Unmoored Ego would probably just name one of the combo pieces. Maybe, yeah, we'll see what they're working with. We can check out their deck, and then if we recur it with Eternal Witness, we can name something else. Urza. All right, well, that looks decent. I don't think I'm going to bring, Push in. I guess it takes care of Spellskite. Takes care of Goblin Engineer. Maybe it's good. What can I take out? This is a matchup where Soulherder can actually shine. Oko turns all of their important artifacts into unimportant artifacts. It's a combo deck with permanents, so probably want to leave the trophies in. Maybe I'll trim a couple Astrolabes, right? Like, it's kind of fluff. Trim 1 Rhino. I do want to keep jamming Soulherders, and they're good with the Rhinos. So let's see, 3 other cards. All this stuff seems pretty bomb. Plague Engineer. What do you guys think about Plague Engineer? Hey, business guy. Got 30 seconds to finish sideboarding. So I don't know. I'm gonna trim a Witness, gonna trim a Herder. Need to make some space. And not trimming Okos. Oko's too good. I'll trim another Astrolabe. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this deck. Drake, you don't think what's needed? Oh yeah, Worship won't help me. I wasn't really seriously considering Worship. It's definitely not great in these matchups. Well, this is pretty insane, except for the fact that I only have 1 land. And the opponent is mulliganing. This is the kind of risky hand that I think sometimes is worth keeping. Even if I don't draw land, I get to Thoughtseize on turn 1. I mean, Thopter Foundry is an activated ability. Everything in their deck is an activated ability. So you don't think the Engineer is needed? So let's see. I mean, it might seem stupid that I'm considering this, guys. I mean, Vista getting black for Thoughtseize just seems irresponsible. Keeping hands like this is also a little bit, what is it? What's the word? Cowardly, because it means that like I'm afraid that I won't, draw a good hand with my deck. At the same time, I've got some pretty bomb like sideboard hate here. I think I have to mulligan. It's a 1-lander. Yeah, I'm mulliganing. This is good. Much better. Yeah, it was a mull. The opponent's going to 5, so hopefully this is in the bag. Lands look good. I can go. Probably I'm gonna Thoughtseize on turn 1, which means I guess I go get green black, and then blue. So that means I'll just pitch this Misty. Green, black, blue, and then more green. Actually, I might want to get some white mana. Green, black, blue. Pitch this. Green, black. Yeah. Yeah, I don't keep 1-landers. It's just Collector Oof. I've had people just immediately scoop when I play him when they're playing these kinds of decks. And it's that good that it's sort of reasonable in some spots for them to just concede. But if I don't have 2 lands, then I'm not going to keep 7, right? No Ether Vial in this deck. Okay, opponent kept 5. Glimmer Void with no artifacts. They play an artifact. It's a good play. All right, so they mull to 5, and now I get to Thoughts. Ooh, maybe I don't Thoughtseize yet. So this means I get to get Oko down on turn 2. Alternatively, it's just Thoughtseize, Ice Fang Coatl, Oko on turn 3. I think that just seems better. I mean, I don't need this Hierarch yet. Drake says Hierarch, but I guess Hierarch pushes me into Oko, which just starts getting value. But I'm playing against a combo deck, but Oko turns things into Elks. So yeah, I could see it. And then turn 3, I guess I'll Thoughtseize. I'll go with that. Still want the black mana though. Let's see, opponent. I did bring in Force of Vigor, which could very easily blow up this Glimmer Void. No, I don't think Coatl Thoughtseize. I think Oko. I think that's the point of playing Hierarch on turn 1. Well, I guess we'll see what the opponent lets me keep. And if they Thoughtseize my Thoughtseize, that makes things easier. I have Thoughtseize Oko, which makes sense, and I get to do your play anyway. More lands. Not exactly what I was looking for. So yeah, we take Oko here. Sword is pretty trash, and we don't want to put it in the graveyard anyway. So peace out, Oko. That's kind of funny, right? He took my Oko, and then I took his Oko. So we know the, let's see, he's got the sword in hand. Would he have drawn the 3rd land? Ooh. That's interesting. Need to draw another Oko real quick. Yeah. So Oko off the top real quick, or what's that? Force of Vigor, Ephemerate. Oh, redraw, right? Hierarch. Start to beat down, I guess. Might just Ephemerate main phase to see what I draw. Well, I'll Ephemerate, not main phase, but on my turn. Let's do it like, hang on. What land do we want? Well, whatever. I'm just gonna play it like this. Opponent's thinking, gonna Force of Negation. Thinking. I think there are arguments to Ephemerate now and later. If I Ephemerate later, like on their end step, well, I don't know. I'm going to Ephemerate now. If I draw like a Coatl, I can play it right away. I've already played my land for the turn. They're tapped out, so whatever. I mean, the plus of holding it, I've mentioned, is that it acts as like a counterspell against removal. Another Coatl, so sort of works out, I guess. Opponent is going to slowly start making Thopters. Yep, you got it. And I am going to hopefully rip some kind of artifact interaction. Maybe Collector Oof would just shut it down. Siege Rhino. This actually doesn't really help the clock, right? Because I'm only attacking with one creature. That was poor. Well, it does help the clock, actually. I'm being a little bit... Deck. So Astrolabe, I think there's only one of those left right now. It's a redraw, right? So Siege Rhino? Assassin's Trophy. That's pretty sick. So I guess we'll get rid of that right now. All right, so 5-turn clock with the Coatl. Maybe we'll draw something in the next 5 turns. We don't know what the opponent is holding anymore. Maybe an opt or something. Maybe that's why he's thinking so hard on my end step. All right, so they drew off of, let's see, what's happening here. All right, so Eternal Witness is nice, would get me back. An Assassin's Trophy. Don't have any graveyard hate that's relevant here. I used to have Ashiok. Snaring Bridge, huh? Well, that's not terrible. Let's go ahead and attack. So Ensnaring Bridge is already in the graveyard, but I can get rid of it if I want to. Alternatively, I think it's just better to get rid of the combo piece, right? Like, I could get rid of Ensnaring Bridge, but we've got answers. I've got Force of Vigor, Assassin's Trophies. How many did I take out? Any Assassin's Trophies? I did not. So I've got 3 more in the deck. I still have 3 Okos left in the deck. Ensnaring Bridge doesn't really bother me. What does bother me, I could also hit Oko, but I'm going to go Thopter Foundry, and then we could potentially just get this thing back. You guys can also just tell me if there's some obvious choice that I'm not thinking about. Graveyard, hand. So yeah, so we're just going Thopter Foundry. And then we can take a look at their deck. Oh, did it? Oh, wait, what? Okay, so let's piece that out. Don't I get to look at their library? What's, oh, here it is. It was hidden underneath there. I was getting freaked out for a second. All right, so it looks like there's only 2 copies. What's left in here? They have a trophy. They have 1 more Oko. They have an Ether Grid, Inventor's Fair, 3 Urzas. That would be a great target for another. They have a Pyroclasm. That's something to look out for. Chalice, Brutality. Really, we're looking out for win conditions here. So Urza, they have 1 Verdict, 1 Pyroclasm, and Oko. All right, so 1, 2, and the hand is Aspire. So we say okay, and we're going to try to get that back to name Urza in the future. Hopefully they don't just rip Urza. Hopefully they just spend their time, their turn, just putting Ensnaring Bridge onto the battlefield. I can continue attacking with my 1/1 in the air. Oh, well, this doesn't look promising. Okay, Tolaria West. Transmuting for what? I don't know. I guess engineered explosives? I didn't even think to look for engineered explosives. They had Chalice. We still have 3 Okos, 3 Assassin's Trophies, I think. Yeah, engineered explosives seems like a possibility. I don't know if you guys saw that when I was looking at their deck. I didn't dwell on it because I was just looking for win conditions. They do have another... Well, look, they're only down to 1 artifact. If I can get rid of that, then I blow up their Glimmer Void. That's something to keep in mind. We know that they have another... They have a Spire in hand, right? Because they didn't play it this turn yet. So I just drew this Tolaria West. I think they're just thinking about what to grab. Academy Ruins. Okay. Doesn't seem amazing. I still get to attack because they have another land in hand. Well, yeah, I still get to attack. Wish I wouldn't keep drawing all these lands. I can play one and thin the deck a little bit. Well, it's a 3-turn clock. These hierarchs have been great. Whenever anybody starts talking about, playing Goose because it synergizes with Oko, I don't know. Like it's hard to pass up the exalted triggers. Opponent has a land in hand. They can put something on the battlefield with Goblin Engineer. Oh, so this thing is going to start being like kind of card advantage, I guess. Oh, they have to sacrifice an artifact to do it, but sacrificing this is not that bad. All right, 3-turn clock. Play a land. Opponent can't activate the ruins yet. I guess it would be a good idea for them to put the Ensnaring Bridge onto the battlefield, right? And then try to just empty their hand. At least gain some time against me. At this point, the opponent has to just be hoping to rip Urza off the top. And I'm just hoping to rip Eternal Witness would just be like lights out because I get Eternal Witness, get Ephemerate the Eternal Witness, and then go and get either Unmoored Ego to get all the Urzas out, or just get Oko and deal with everything that way. Opponent did not activate Goblin Engineer with Glimmer Void. Like, why would you just lose value? Oh, because he would have to sacrifice the sword to do that? Like, but you want the sword in the graveyard anyway. Very strange. So opponent played Seachrome Coast, so we know they still have a land in hand, so they're not really drawing very well. Because they can't empty their hand if they keep drawing lands. So I don't know. Hallowed Fountain seems reasonable. 2-turn clock. I'm trying to go fast, but opponent's kind of taking their sweet time. I'm going to keep thinning the deck with these fetch lands. Doesn't seem to be doing very much, though. All right. Swing. Guess the opponent is going... I mean, it makes sense to put... Now they can use Academy Ruin, so they won't draw a land. They can put whatever they want on the top. But if they put something else on top, then they're not drawing Urza, which is pretty awesome for us. I can't bounce anything with this deck. All right, so we know now they have Aspire in hand. Oh, no, sorry. They used the Goblin Engineer for that. So now Academy Ruins can use something. The opponent, I think, is playing correctly by not putting anything on top. But why did they get Academy Ruins? Anyhow, that's it. I guess they kept drawing lands. So that's kind of an old school Urza deck, right? Old school, like, 8 weeks ago or something. Slashmaster, I'm glad that you are enjoying the higher resolution. I think is it 1080? It's like 19 something by 1080. And does it seem like I'm dropping frames at all? Because when I was testing all this stuff, I didn't really even know what to look for. And I was just put off because when I would, wave my hand, then Twitch would wave my hand like 5 seconds later. But that's just the nature of streaming. There's always a delay between what I say and what you guys see. It's just my computer needs to process it. The radio waves need to travel through the ether. Yeah, so yeah, Grixis were. I guess they have Oko. Seemed pretty manageable for this deck, right? Particularly post board because I have some good artifact hate. Go ahead and close out of these windows here. I can go back to the deck. I didn't draw the Force of Vigor, but at any point in that matchup, that's just always insane. Unmoored Ego was kind of awesome, right? What did you guys think about that? I mean, getting rid of the combo when he had a summoning sick Goblin Engineer seemed pretty awesome. Yeah, I feel like it's a pretty favorable matchup. I thought seized away something good. I can't remember. There was a choice. I thought seized away Oko, which was pretty bomb. The opponent was stuck on lands for a while, but getting rid of that Oko is pretty big. I guess this is modern now, right? It's like turn 1, thought seize your Oko. Opponent goes turn 1, thought seize your Oko, and then then we all have to just play normal 2-drops and stuff like that. Like no Okos for you. So anyhow, that is the 4-color list with Astrolabe, and I have to say that I have been enjoying Astrolabe so far. Charming Prince is a really good card in this deck. It's an extra blink effect when you've got a Siege Rhino on board. You just drop Charming Prince and slam him, and it's like a free Lightning Helix. Or alternatively, it just blinks an Eternal Witness, gets back some gas from the graveyard, gains life. It can scry, but there's a lot of really good 2-drops that can go in this deck. Both Wall of Omens and its white counterpart. Sorry, that is Wall of Omens, and then green counterpart, Wall of Blossoms. As 0-4 walls actually synergize really well, kind of sneaky synergy with Oko, because if you make a bunch of 3/3s, you're already set with 0-4 walls, like just to block all of the 3/3 elks that the opponent now has. So the walls are good choices. Obviously, they draw cards. Watcher for Tomorrow is a really good card because it digs really deep. Like it looks 4 cards down. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. So this card is pretty sick. It's definitely won games for me. But there's only so much space, particularly when you start adding a 4th color. Assassin's Trophy has been just wildly excellent for me. You saw it against blue-white. I was just, I blew up a Celestial Colonnade. I blew up, I think I blew up a Jace, blew up a bunch of stuff. I've won games against Tron, numerous games against Tron by just like taking them off Tron. And then Siege Rhino is kind of like the star of the show here, alongside Oko. And the Astrolabe just makes for fewer feel-bad opening hands. I was explaining this toward the beginning of the stream, but I'll get so many opening hands with like Island Swamp or Island Plains, and I've got maybe a Hierarch and a Coatl and a bunch of other great stuff, but I can't cast anything. So the Astrolabe replaces itself, which is awesome, and then gives me any color mana that I want to play a 2-drop, which is amazing. And it also adds more snow permanents for Icefang Coatl to be able to turn on Death Touch. So again, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know that 4 is the correct number, but it just seems like such an easy card to include in the deck. And playing against the Whir deck there, that was probably the first time that I actually trimmed Astrolabes, because it seems like kind of a funny card to trim. It's sort of part of the mana base. But I guess that was an experiment, and we saw that it can work okay. Somebody was mentioning earlier in the chat that Basic Swamp feels bad in the 4-color version without Astrolabe. And I have played a bunch of 4-color without Astrolabe with the Swamp, and I guess like I was saying, like opening hand, you can get feel bad with that, but we do need at least a couple of black sources because, you know, it's pretty heavy actually. You've got the full play set of trophies, and then you need to be able to cast Siege Rhino on time if you've got it in your hand. So anyhow, I think I've been winning in general. Maybe I've lost something like I'm like 4-1 or like 5-2 or something like that with this deck with the Astrolabe. So it's feeling pretty good. What do you guys think about the inclusion of Astrolabe in the deck? I think it's pretty nice. Like its synergy with Coatl seems strong. Who is talking to me? Okay. What is this? So let's see. Close this. Open that back up. So if you guys have any thoughts on Astrolabe, leave it in the chat. I'm gonna run, fill up my drink, use the bathroom. I'll be back in 3 minutes. 2 minutes. Hey guys, I'm back. So yeah, nobody has any thoughts at all on Astrolabe. I guess I don't know how many of you guys in chat play Soulherder. Am I just the only one, and you guys just like watching it because it's kind of a meme or something? And it's a pretty sweet deck. I'm not gonna go ahead and say that it's like the best deck in Modern or anything, but it's certainly fun. I mean, 4 colors gives you a lot of sideboard options. So, you know, I mean, Drake, I definitely want to get back to Merfolk. I've sort of established what I think I know about Soulherder. It's I mean, there could be developments. People are trying collected company. It could definitely be the way to go for all I know. But I really love Oko, and Oko doesn't really jive with collected company. It's just going to make for feel bads with collected company. But anyhow, I feel like I've got a pretty good start on learning about Soulherder. So, do you guys want to see one more match with this build, or do you want me to play some Pioneer, or maybe Folk? I can replace. Well, let's see. I've got the borrowers in there already. Man, I like seeing the simplicity of these blue decks. So Brick Levin, I've been playing with the Astrolabes. I replaced prints, 3 princes and 1 force, in order to make Astrolabe. I'm not playing it for the cantripping, right? That's like the least important thing. Like I don't. It's nice that, of course, it's wonderful that it replaces itself. But the point is to fix the mana to make sure that I always have green blue when I need it. Like on turn 4, if you have a basic plains or swamp, you can't do green blue, which comes up all the time. There's going to be situations where I don't have black, but I have an Astrolabe, and it's going to let me cast Assassin's Trophy. It's going to let me cast Siege Rhino. The point is not cantripping. The point is also, I mean, the point is, I should finish my sentence. The point is the synergy with Coatl. Number 1, it gets Death Touch online much faster. Number 2, fixes the mana. Actually, reverse those. Number 1 is fixing the mana. Number 2 is the synergy with Coatl. A distant third is the card draw, and a distant fourth is the synergy with Oko, because it's just a hasty artifact. It can just be a 3/3 that just starts beating down right away. So Astrolabe actually does a fair amount in the deck, and I've been winning, as I mentioned earlier, since adding it. You don't want to be too results oriented, but I'm generally never really sad to see it, because if you have it early, it's a turn 1 play, and it fixes your mana, and it draws a card. So all of those things are great. If you draw it late, it just replaces itself, which is awesome. And maybe it's just an extra artifact to turn into an elk. So it hasn't been bad. I have to say, I really love Charming Prince, and I'm kind of sad to not have him in the deck. But as far as I can say that testing has gone, like positively or negatively, so far it's just all been positive. I mean, some of you guys who are watching those matches, you can let me know, like, how does Astrolabe seem like it's performing? I feel like it's done some work. Anyhow, I don't know. I guess I'll keep testing it. Shell Twitch. No, thank you very much for the compliment. I have been told that once or twice, because I have this YouTube channel. I've had it for, I don't even know, like 3 or 4 years or something, and a few people have commented on my voice. I have to say though, like, I really like Seth's voice, Saffron Olive. I like just how outlandish it is. I think. And the only people I don't like watching on YouTube are like the people that are a little too heavy into like the memes, a little too heavy into just childish humor, I don't want to call too many people out. I won't call anybody out, but you guys know who I'm talking about, like the magic channels and streamers that swear all the time, and that make jokes about body parts and things like that. It gets so boring. Like, I mean, like, I'm sitting there, it feels like you're at lunch break in 6th grade or something with some of these people. Yeah, so Sam, I can definitely track win-loss. It's a little bit tricky because you have to do a huge sample size for actually tracking win-loss and having it be productive. Myself and Stoneheart and Roland Rothgar, and I think Drake Gideon, who's in the chat right now, we did a deep dive on like M Hayashi folk. This was maybe a year ago, and we've done this with other builds too, that we wanted to test. And we played like 100 or 200 matches and very closely tracked, the performance of different cards and sideboard options and things like that. And that can be really valuable, but at the same time, I'm just changing a lot of cards right now, so I can't change Astrolabe and then jam 200 matches like with Astrolabe. It's not going to happen. So once I feel like I have like a really set build, I tend to just lately I've been playing a lot of queues because, well, it's I don't know, what do I want to say? Leagues are very competitive, and when you're playing like kind of a brew, it can be a real tax on your resources, because if you don't do well in the league, you have to just buy in again. And I had to pay a lot of money just to sort of get the cards. Assassin's Trophy is pretty pricey. Oko's obviously pretty pricey. And then some sideboard cards, like the Teferi is like $60 online right now. Thoughtseize is whatever, like 15. So it all adds up, and I just don't feel comfortable yet jamming it. I'm getting close, actually, with this 4-color again. I feel a little bit better with the Astrolabes. But anyhow, I'm talking too much. Do you guys want to see one more game with this? Just let me leave some chats or whatever. Let me know what you're interested in. I'd be down to just maybe play a queue or two with Merfolk, just to get my chops back. Like I was saying, I haven't played it since July or something, so I'm probably gonna like mess up my Ether Vial triggers. I still haven't played this deck with Brazen Borrower. I did play this in Pioneer when I streamed a couple days ago. So Shell Twitch says Merfolk. Okay, Sam, that's good to know. I'll just keep talking then. Talk all night. You guys can just sit here and listen to me. All right, so Drake, you say what? What do you want me to play? Since you weren't here the other day, yeah, stay hydrated, right? All right. So Obliterate. What is my Pioneer deck? Well, it's this deck that I don't know why I have the I took a land out and didn't put anything back in. I think I wanted to go down to 22 and add Smuggler's Copter. A couple of these guys. Oh, I don't even have those anymore. That's funny. I don't think they're that expensive. Do I have any tickets right now? Exactly 10. I'm gonna have to like buy in for some more soon. So anyhow, this is the deck. I think these Pioneer builds, they're really tricky because they're so top heavy. Like, look at all these 3-drops. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's ridiculous. That has to just be bad, right? Like bad deck building. So, I mean, they're all well. This is kind of a 2-drop, right? Wizard's Retort. But people have been winning with this. I've just sort of grabbed one of the deck lists that's pinned in the Pioneer channel. All right, so Drake's down for Pioneer. I know Shell. I saw you, Shell. You said that you want some Merfolk. I can play like one of each. You know what? I'm gonna grab my cable for my phone. I'm using that to watch the chat. I'll be right back in a second. All right. Make sure this doesn't die. So, yeah, Sam, it is very top heavy. Like when you get an opening hand with like a million 3-drops, it's super clunky. My phone charging right now. Better be charged. Look like it's charged. Oh, stupid computers. Another USB thing over here. Yeah. All right, it's charging. All right, so yeah, Jin wants lots of basic islands. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna play. I need to buy actually these copters real quick. So bear with me. I've been moving my collection around a lot, trying to free up tickets for the cards that I need to buy. There's no overlap really between Merfolk and Soulherder, so just had to put a whole bunch. I was very comfortably going like super infinite with Merfolk, but when you suddenly need like 700 more tickets for a new deck, it sort of puts it cramps your style as far as going infinite. All right, so we're just looking for copters here. I think they were pretty cheap, but Pioneer. What? I have one copter already. Well, that's nice. Why do I have one copter? I mean, 5 ticks. What? This used to be like 2 cents. That's miserable. Why do I have one smuggler's copter? How did that come to be? All right, so we're gonna spend 5 ticks to get looter scooter. Everything's so expensive. I guess it's cool that this new format is like increasing the value of people's collections who have been around for a while, but it's just making everything really hard to buy into, huh? So I currently have my 2 smugglers copters, so that's solid. Drag this over a little bit. Yeah, Brick Levin. Actually, I did try Copter, and it was fun. There's so many good cards like that could be played in that deck, in Soulherder, because you've got so many little 1/1 dorks that suddenly throwing like a 3/3 flyer with double exalted at the opponent is kind of wild. But with a deck like with Soulherder, you realize really quickly like the limitations of the 60 card deck, right? Like, you need your bounce spells, you need your planeswalkers, you need your win conditions, you need your value spells. You need to make sure that your mono works, and you know, when you start to try to add even like singletons here and there, it's like, well, what are you cutting to fit a single copter? Are you going to cut another force? You know, that's pretty rough. Are you going to cut Soulherder or Eternal Witness? Certainly not, right? So I don't think Smuggler's Copter is going to be better than Oko. So anyhow, Smuggler's Copter, yeah, it was fun, but it's currently not in any of my builds. Oh, so yeah, that's actually great to hear, Oblerit. That Veil of Summer just got banned. That because that card is too strong. I was playing against Titan Shift yesterday, and the opponent played that new green land that you pay 4 and you tap it and you make 6 mana. And they did that, and they played a Titan, and because they had that land, it let them have 1 extra land. I disdainful stroked the Titan, and then they had Veil up with their 1 extra land because they had that cheaty extra land, the one from Eldraine. It was rough. I told the opponent nice because it was a pretty sweet Xaxes kind of moment. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play 1 game with this, at 1 match, and then probably 1 match with, or maybe more with Merfolk. I'm actually kind of jonesing to play Merfolk, but I also want to get in some reps with Pioneer. I'm in the wrong window here. Yeah, it's modern, thank you. Pioneer now. Looks like we have somebody queued up here. Hydra Llamas. Maybe that's what he's playing. He's playing a deck with Hydras and Llamas. Well, that's nice. That's a good hand, huh? Let me fix this a little bit. I think it's not quite perfect. Oop. There we go. Okie dokie. Opponent is on the play. They're going to keep, and I am going to keep. Hopefully we draw some lands. Hopefully we don't get thought seized. So I've been hearing things about this mono black deck. Apparently it's pretty good. Kind of makes me want to play it, actually, looking at their deck list. Like, it's just hit after hit after hit. All these little vampires and walking ballistas and fatal pushes. Like, being able to play fatal push and Thoughtseize in this format seems pretty bonkers. I know next to nothing about this format. I know that Assassin's Trophy is in it. I know that Thoughtseize is in it. I know that Deathrite Shaman is in it, which is cool. I love the swamp. I used to play the swamp in this Blood Artist. So I used to play this Blood Artist. What is that guy's name? Abyssal Persecutor Birthing Pod deck. So this guy enters tapped. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. Return him from the battlefield, graveyard to battlefield. Activate it only anytime you cast a sorcery. 1 or fewer cards. All right, so they're basically emptying their hand, right? They're floating mana, presumably another Dreadwander or something. No. So, all right, well, that's decent, right? I can, I mean, I think I just play Copter here and hold up blocks, right? They could, I can Trickster next turn and then Master. Now, they know at least one of the cards in my hand. I mean, one of the lands in my hand, but they don't know for sure that I have that fourth one. So it's totally possible they could have like a push for Smuggler's Copter if I, oh, what is, let's see, does he have any other abilities? He doesn't have like Menace or anything. It could have a push for the Copter, but then they can't use that push for Master of Waves, and even if they wanted to, they need a fetch, right, to trigger Revolt, or at least, you know, some dead creature. Siren Stormtamer seems pretty incredible. I mean, it's kind of, you know, rubbing salt in the wound to just bring it up again and again, but you can just imagine if this card was a Merfolk, it doesn't even need to have flying, right? It could have Island Walk, just native Island Walk. It's not as strong as flying. It works well in our deck, though. And its ability is just so sick. Like, why can't Merfolk have something like that? Am I going to just stonewall the opponent here? Are they not going to attack? No, they have to attack, right? They're just throwing out. They're going to give me a loot. This is sensational. Except, you know, I really like my hand right now, so I'm not likely to throw away. I mean, it'd be nice if I just get to loot through an island. Ugh, I was just thinking, what if Thassa comes up? Thassa is bonkers. Yeah, Thassa's going to get me that land back, so... Yeah, I have some experience, Brick Levin, with playing Thassa. So yeah, when I see her, it's, oh, look at this guy with the Copter. That's funny. All right, enters tapped. So it's just a bunch of zombies, right? What is it? This is a zombie deck? There's zombie lords in this format, I guess. Copter is, let's see. So I get to play Thassa here. I could alternatively, I can just go Trickster into Master of Waves, which seems pretty sick. I don't really need to scry for anything, and Thassa's not even going to be online like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eventually, she'll be online. I play her now, I play Master of Waves and only get 3 tokens if I play Trickster. I like Trickstering down Copter, actually. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and activate or crew this guy. Also, playing the Trickster this turn leaves up mana for Stormtamer. So it is, let's see, possible that I'm being a little bit too aggressive here. Like I could just leave back Copter to block and eat another one of this guy's creatures. But we have Trickster. Another Copter, huh? Don't need that. We have Trickster to slow them down anyway, so didn't really need Smuggler's Copter on defense. So Lazotep Reaver. All these cards I've never seen before. Put a +1 counter on an army you control. All right. It's something. The army gets to activate the Smuggler's Copter. Pretty sweet synergy. So, yeah, let's just go ahead and tap down this Copter. And take my beats from these zombies. Come at me, bro. There we go. Another island. But now I get to play Master of Waves. And then I think I just get to attack with my creatures. No special abilities on this guy other than amassing. Okay, well, drawing through the islands. Smuggler's Copter is such gas. Like, when I initially copied this list from the Discord, it didn't have any copters in it, and I know people have been trying it, they've been testing it, and some of the comments that I had seen from even, like players that I definitely respect, is talking about something like, it doesn't do anything the turn it comes down. That's just a little bit disingenuous. So, opponent, what do you got for me? There is like a 3-drop Sorin Planeswalker, I think, but that's for vampires. Well, Thassa gets to come down next turn, and I'm gonna have enough mana to make something unblockable. I wonder if opponent is going to shift to defense here, or if they're just going to deal with Master of Waves. That would be rough, I guess. Nope, there it is. So -1/-1, and okay, well, tables have turned a little bit. It would be great to draw a blue 2-drop, so Thassa is potentially alive or awake. So I'm still learning what removal there is in this format. Like, I don't even know what that card was. Dark Salvation. They make a zombie, and then a creature gets -1 for each turn. Yeah, so it's getting like -5 or whatever. Leaving Copter back. Yeah, that was pretty poor. Well, I mean, hindsight is like that sometimes, Sam. I mean, the line of tapping down their Copter with Trickster getting maximum devotion, they had like 2 cards in hand. So the idea that one of those things in hand would be a piece of removal, it seemed a little bit unlikely to me. So Thassa comes down, she can start scrying. Always keep mana up. For what? What would I be keeping mana up for? I'm not sure I understand. Because if I play Thassa on turn 3, then I'm not leaving mana up on turn 4. Just tapping out for Master of Waves. So I guess I can just activate Smuggler's Copter next turn to block. Maybe I'll keep this island in hand in case I need to scry something away. I've got mana up to sort of... You know what? Guys. Yeah, no, I see what you're talking about now. Storm Tamer is still... I'm still, like, new to playing with this card. So... Leaving mana up, yeah, no, I see it for protecting Master of Waves. I get it now. So play Thassa on turn 4. I get it. Now I get it. So play Thassa on turn 4. leave up the 1 mana, then play Master of Waves, leave up mana, of course. That makes a lot of sense. And I wish I had seen the line, and I appreciate you guys pointing it out. But I don't think I have any attacks here. Opponent can just activate their Copter. And if they attack, I can activate my Copter, so hopefully things will get slowed down a little bit here. I can draw into some good stuff, like Jin. Alright, so they're getting in with the Copter. Getting frisky. This isn't lethal. Alright, so they're gonna loot. And see, they got a bunch of cards in hand. Well, no, they have 2 in hand. They pitched the Swamp. Mismatched Swamps is pretty bad, huh? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I eat this, it takes 6. Trade Copters. Sort of seems okay. Yep, done. Playing a little bit slowly here, just a little bit out of my element. Alternatively, I could block, you know, like a Diagraph Ghoul, like eat. Oh, is he gonna? He's got more removal. It's unfortunate. All right, well that kind of explains the attack a little bit more, just being very aggressive. So now it's a 5. Block this 6, 7, 8, 9. All I can do is trade. I guess Jin wakes up Thassa, but then I think he's still getting around the edges, like with damage. So if I block this, it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't do that. Just have to block whatever. Diagraph Ghoul. So I don't think I have outs at this point. This deck is probably playing a whole bunch of removal. Definitely should have held up Siren Storm Tamer. So Brazen Borrower is interesting. I guess I could bounce. Well, let's see. If I have 5 mana, I can play my land, bounce something that doesn't quite wake up Thassa. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. I'm at 1. They're going to have 5 attackers, or 4 attackers at least. I could play this and have 5 attackers. I think I have to scoop. Yeah, I just need to look out for Storm Tamer more. You guys are totally right. Like I'm not really not playing with Storm Tamer to the in the way I should be doing. So Tidebinder's bad. Dispute is bad. I think Disallow. I could like counter a Smuggler's Copter activation. Doesn't seem amazing because they could just tap another zombie to activate it. And this is kind of not very good. So do I just stick with the main deck and try to play my cards a little bit better? So Storm Tamer, need to leave mana up. Should always, it's basically like a counter spell on board. The whole idea is to protect our bombs. Same idea with like Curse Catcher. I should just be a little bit more aware, but yeah, anything on the board is not that good. So whatever, I'll just run it back. I don't know how strongly I feel about Mu Yanling at this point. And she seems pretty good. She gets to make a gigantic bird on the second turn she comes in. Only played like 1 game with her so far. She seems solid enough. But again, like we have just tons and tons of 3-drops and 4-drops. Alright, so I'm going to try to look to counter things with Storm Tamer this game. And leave mana up. What else? Gonna look to draw good cards. I think this is kind of a rough matchup, right? It's kind of like the affinity deck of Pioneer. They just go super wide, super fast. Opponent is thinking really hard about their sideboard plan, which doesn't seem good for us. So I know that Stoneheart had been playing Hypnotic Sprite. I think Roland had as well, but I think they were both just saying like 2 days ago that it was bad. Like very definitively, like a card is bad. Like I want it to be good, but it's bad. But now people are back to testing Hypnotic Sprite again, and whatever. I mean, it's like you can test things and then test them again. But I just think it's kind of funny that like people draw these concrete decisions, and then other people are like, oh well, it's been really good for me. I'm like, oh well, maybe I'll try it again, and then they're like, oh, it was great yesterday. This hand is pretty good, good-ish. So opponent thinking about their hand. We got Island Go. All right, Dread Wanderer. Well, Jin is more good cards. I guess I just Trickster this turn. I have to figure out what my play is on turn 3. I guess Tempest Jin has a big butt, so pretty good at blocking. All right, tap down the Dread Wanderer, and all right, opponent just passes the turn. I think we might just want to jam Thassa here. They're not being super aggressive. Alternatively, we could just hold up Wizard's Retort, but that seems bad since I don't have any other instant speed stuff. I could play Moo, take her up, and actually just like make this guy little. That also seems good. That also seems good. But actually, if I play Thassa and then Moo, I can attack with Thassa next turn, assuming that the opponent doesn't kill anything. Yeah, you're right. They do play that adventure creature that kills planeswalkers. But then Thassa is indestructible, so I don't know. They can't really kill her anyway, right? I think I want to start scrying. I just want to draw lands, and then Thassa can block moving forward, I guess. And I'm not gonna. I probably should have attacked first. I'm not blocking, right? So opponent is probably holding up removal, so push or something like that. Yeah, would have been better to attack first. I'm playing pretty loose tonight. Like if I attack first, he's thinking, okay, he's gonna follow up with like something big. There goes a fair amount of my devotion. I might just play Jin now, I guess. All right. So opponent just continuing to leave stuff up. I think that adventure removal card creature is sorcery, if I'm not mistaken. Diagraph Colossus. This with a +1 counter for each zombie card in your graveyard. And create a tap 2/2. It's pretty rough. So I guess lands here are good. Harbinger sort of also good, but we're just straight up casting 2-drops here. I mean 3-drops for a little while, right? So Harbinger, I don't know. But it's just a 1-drop. It enters the battlefield tapped, but when they play a zombie, they get a zombie now with Diagraph, so I don't really want to bounce that thing. I want to draw lands. Oh, it's instant? Well, that's good to know. I didn't really want to draw another counterspell. So, I guess Jin is a 3/4, decent blocker for a while. I guess they could have more removal for it. Now they have 2 zombies. They can activate Mutavault to become another zombie. Moo ticks up and then just dies right away. So probably best just to play a creature, I guess. So this thing makes zombies every time they cast a zombie. Pretty rough. Opponent hits their 4th land drop on time. It's pretty good for an aggro deck. We need Ether Vial so that I can tap out for Wizard's Retort. Not tap out, so I can hold up Wizard's Retort. Alright, Thassa, scry away. That's what I've been looking for. So now, I guess I could just wait until, like, let's see, this is a wizard. I could play him and then hold up Retort, but, I mean, wait till 2 more lands and then play him and hold up Retort. Meanwhile, I'm just, what? I think I need to play Master of Waves, right? Wakes up Thassa. I think I'm just on defense here. At least for a little while. Let's see. I can only cast one of these for now. Moo can, I guess, shrink Kalidas or something. Moo gets more devotion. I guess I draw removal, or at least some attacks with Moo. If she lives, I get tons and tons of Master of Waves tokens. As it stands, though, I still get 5 Master of Wave tokens, which is pretty good. Tricky decisions. I'll go ahead and play Moo, I guess. So, yeah, let's shrink you. And that's it. Right? I guess I could attack with Thassa, but is that a good attack? Not really. I kind of want to protect Moo, protect the devotion. I mean, they've got 4 cards in hand now. They can probably kill something. This is not a zombie. It's a vampire. Thoughtseize is rough. Rough. It's got to be one of the best spells in the format. Not like the most powerful, single most powerful. Well, we've got 3 more Master of Waves in the deck. I don't think the opponent likes Moo on the board. What's happening here? Just 2, huh? Well, I could be walking into something here. I've got 2 gigantic blockers. I guess they might have like some removal for Thassa, right? Like that minus spell. And currently they have 1, 2, 3. Maybe I let Moo take the hit from one of these things, and I just eat this Mutavault. They can kill the Djinn, which then makes Thassa smaller. But I'd rather keep Thassa on the board. Take 3 damage. Well, if I take 3, then he's going to lose the zombies, right? I don't think that... Well, anyhow, doesn't it cost 3? I'm just like, I don't know what cards to look out for. Whatever. I'm blocking. Bring an opponent. Blow me out, please. Oh, maybe Fatal Push. Sure. Yeah, I just thought about that at like the last moment, but we've got a lot of devotion in the deck, plus Scry's coming. And we just dealt with 2 of the opponent's creatures, so that's all reasonable stuff. Yeah, so now we make a bird. Good job, Moo. If I play this, I can't hold... this is not a wizard, right? It's an elemental. Yeah, just pass, I guess. See a reason to play the land. They could just suicide attack into Moo, I guess, which would be... It seems pretty good for us, right? Because if they have some follow-up play, we can just counter it. This only cares if non-token things, right? So you can sacrifice to put 2 counters on it, which would make him a 5/6. It doesn't seem like a good idea to block then in this case. All right, Moo, you did a good job. Storm Tamer is kind of weak here. I guess it does let me play something and hold up. Oh, Thassa, come on. What is going on? I'll play one of my lands now, I guess, and still just pass back. Opponent on the end step. What are they doing? So they get to draw a card and lose, yeah, equal to the number of cards in hand. So it's pretty good. It's a pretty sweet land. Opponent knows that I have these 2 Wizard's Retorts. They can attack with Kalidas, which is getting kind of annoying. I can make them spend their turn basically buffing Kalidas, but I think I just have to kind of take this for now, right? And if I'm going to take it, then why am I not just attacking? Well, then they can't attack with the other creatures, so I'm just it's a slower clock. All right, well, I'm not just going to chump block with this 4/4 elemental. I kind of like the dynamics currently. Thassa just has to scry me into some better stuff, I think. Oh, this is getting out of hand, unfortunately. And we don't really have any devotion at this point anymore. Yeah. All right, so I do have 5 lands. It's kind of interesting. I can bounce Kalidas when it attacks next turn, eat some zombie or something, establish some devotion. Maybe I can even bait the opponent into buffing Kalidas by blocking with the bird. And then bounce Kalidas. But then I'd already be at blocks. I don't think I'm going to block anything with this Brazen Borrower. A lot of B's in that sentence. Although I might just need to cast this here. Not hard cast Brazen Borrower yet. So what's happening here? It's gonna give it -1. Oh no, he's gonna make a zombie, and then it's gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I probably want to counter that, right? Oh, okay. Thank you. I haven't played Brazen Borrower enough, so can only block with flying. Makes sense. Otherwise, it'd be a little bit pushed. Everybody jumped in on that. Wait, I'm sorry. Hang on a sec. So bounce Kalidas, counter Kalidas. That's a reasonable play. Casting another zombie here, getting a bunch more zombies. Do I want to counter this thing? I guess I can't, right? I can't. Rough. So, let's see. So kind of like bouncing, let's see. Can't block anyway, right? So I don't just wait a minute for this. I think I'm just gonna block the ghoul, but then he cares about the graveyard or something? No, it's only when he enters the battlefield, so block this guy. Yeah. Does he have Urborg? Is that legal in this format? I had no idea. Master Waves is nice. I don't have any devotion though. Can cast this. And is it a wizard? No, it's not a wizard. So if I cast that, I don't have counters up. Just Master of Waves. Doesn't wake up Thassa. Blocker. If I play Master of Waves, I guess countering Kalidas would be reasonable, but I'm just dying to this army here. So I think Master of Waves, as ridiculous as it seems, gets bottomed here, right? I think I need something else. I'm just that far behind. Okay. Another Brazen Borrower. So, let's pass, I guess. So we can counter Kalitas and then bounce something else. And these 3 mana counter spells are feeling pretty rough. These matches are taking so much longer than I'd expect them to take. 2 more zombies. I think this game is over. They're just making too many zombies. This is ridiculous. I can bounce this thing, but then he just makes another zombie on the way down. I can bounce a zombie, but they're just making a bunch more zombies. Opponent still knows I have a counter spell in hand. Only block creatures with flying. So, yeah, I think that I will just bounce one of these tokens and block another token. Pretty bad, right? Be nice if the opponent doesn't play into the counterspell, because then I can just get some devotion on the table. Another Castle Lochthwain. But let's see, can they can't activate both. Dread Wanderer from the battlefield, from the graveyard. And I guess they have to pass here. So we'll just cast this thing. I hate Urborg. Okay. Scrying. 3 devotion established. That's enough devotion to turn Thassa on, so I don't see how I throw that away. It's also a wizard. And let's see. I can't block with this thing, so I might as well attack with it. These guys don't have reach, even though it looks like they should. So go ahead and get my. Well, hang on. Yeah, I'm definitely just blocking with Thassa if I get to. Ugh. Alright, well, I've got counter magic up to try to protect Thassa a little bit. Opponent's still at a pretty high life total, and he's got a pretty scary army of zombies. I mean, why? I guess they play Mutavault, so Urborg sort of offsets Mutavault. So I don't really care too much about Kalitas here, although, you know, it's obviously important, but... Well, hang on. What do I want to block here? This and this. Take 4 seems okay. Okay-ish. The opponent, we know one of the cards in their hand is Kalitas, right? So if they play removal, I'm going to counter that because we need to keep Thassa alive. Yeah, not feeling that, opponent. You can have your I'm just running out of time here. Like, Urborg makes me take like 10 minutes to pay for all my costs. Oh, wait, I have a Brazen Borrower here, but I can't block. Island is not what I want. I said it's not what I want. This guy still can't block. I don't know that I'm going to get, even if I win this game, I don't know that I'm going to. Let's see, attack, attack. Block, 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 and I'm dead. So, it's a little bit unfortunate. Block, block, block. Barely not dead, but Thassa is going to play that. Okay. Opponent can draw some cards if they want. Probably a good call. So 5, 9, I guess. I am going to lose Harbinger, but I could have lethal attack on the crackback just with the 2 flyers and Thassa. Fortunately, I'm sitting at 5 minutes, so unless I go like hyper aggro and have a really nice hand next game, I don't think I'm going to have a chance at winning this match. Because I haven't won one of the games yet, I think, right? I think I just lost game 1, unless I'm forgetting something. Yeah, I think I just lost. I remember I lost that first game. So opponent has 1 card in hand. This costs 3 and it to... Not sure what they're doing here. They might just be lost, unless they have removal. Smuggler's Copter. Alright, I think we can make this happen with unblockability. Yeah, we can definitely do that. Oh, all these cards. Alright. Okay. That's not going to matter, I don't think. 5, 4. Smuggler's Copter. Opponent's kind of being silly by making me do this, I guess, but fair game. Can't be blocked, can't be blocked, can't be blocked. Good luck with that. And then they concede. All right, so I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be right back, guys, and we'll go to game 3. Hey guys, guess you enjoyed the flush. Yeah, it's a pretty loud one. My building flushes the toilet like a jet engine. It sounds like I don't know, crazy waterfall through the pipes. All right, do we even sideboard? No, we don't sideboard. Oh, you know what? Tapping things down is interesting, but this is going to be just straight up aggro. Like, I'm going to look for an aggressive hand. I have no time to do anything. And if I lose because of reckless attacks, it's the same as losing to the clock. So Gadwick is just like a slow card. All right, so quick decisions. We keep a bunch of little fast creatures. Oh my god, that's terrible. Got a mulligan. And that's keep. Put Moo on the bottom, and we're done. Opponent began with 7, which probably means we're just losing anyway. Cadwick over Moo. It's possible, but they make a 4/4. She makes a 4/4 flyer, which is decent. Harbinger is pretty sick here. I think if this thing attacks, I'm going to trade with it, right? It's like crazy card value, card advantage. Yeah, they're not going to do that. So then Harbinger's actually pretty bad. But I think I need to play him anyway to build up devotion and get creatures on the board, hit my curve. It's pretty terrible. I hate it. I'm not blocking with Storm Tamer, so I'm just going to attack with it. Again, my sequencing on attacks is pretty bad, but the opponent's tapped out anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, whatever. Next turn is Jin. Opponent passing. That's ridiculous. Oh, they're just going to draw a card, of course, right? That's how it works with this Crypt Breaker guy. So we're going to hope that they don't have removal and that we draw land, play Master of Waves, and win. Or if any of those things don't happen, we're probably going to lose. Which is okay. It's a bad matchup. I don't have a lot of time. Wow. Okay. That removal spell is pretty good, actually, huh? So I think it's game over here. Did our best. Not dilly-dallying. Bet you they have, like, more removal in hand, too. Since, you know, that's all they're doing. Thoughtseize. Yeah, this doesn't even really matter. Guess I play Moo? I don't even know, man. Yeah, I mean, this game is not going anywhere. I have 3.5 minutes, so we can let it go another turn or two. Now, something feels off on this blue deck to me. Like, Thos is awesome, Master of Waves is awesome. But the low end of the deck just feels so bad, right? I mean, Siren Storm Tamer is great, but then what else? It's just like we have our Tempo Dorks, but there's no power. There's nothing happening in the beginning of the game. This is a great game for the opponent. I'm gonna say great games. Thanks very much. And then scoop because this is super over. It's always nice to be the nice to the opponent. I'm gonna say well played. I always like it when people tell me that. So concede game. And yeah, so that's my first loss in Pioneer. No longer undefeated. I'm sorry, Sam, what was rude? I must have missed it. Oh, was like the third removal spell? Yeah, that was pretty rude, but whatever. I mean, that deck is built to destroy like decks like ours. Just we play singular important creatures, very synergistic with our devotion, and they just kill it all, and they play a million zombies, and That big thing that looks like Hogak, it's a 3-drop. Like when they got 2 of those on the board, and every zombie they cast, they made more zombies. There's pretty much literally nothing we can do against that unless we want to start playing like Cyclonic Rift, which I doubt is legal in this format. All right, I don't know. I could run back Pioneer, but I think that Shell Twitch had asked for some Merfolk, and actually, like I think I've said it a bunch of times now, I haven't played it in like three or 4 months, so I'm gravitating towards the 7 Seas Thassa build, trying out Brazen Borrower. Oh, so Cyclonic Rift is in the format, I guess, right? But how often do we actually get to, what is it, 6 to Overload? Not that often are we getting up there. All right, so I don't even, like this. These sideboards look ridiculous to me, like when I compare it to my Rhino sideboard. It's like 3 cards, that's what you get. So, yeah, let's go with Thassa Folk and see how it goes. I know I'm going to trip over myself because I just haven't played the deck in a long time. And this might be the last match for the evening, I guess. My wife came home earlier. I'm not sure if you guys caught a glimpse of her as she was walking around. Let's see. Where is Thassa? There it is. Thassa Folk. All right, let's do it. And then I was saying earlier that I think, no, it's true, Sam, that the singletons work really well in Soulherder because not only can Eternal Witness get it back, but we just draw a lot of cards, and so you have a much greater chance of actually seeing the singletons. Merfolk doesn't have the velocity or the ability to recycle cards. No, it's definitely true. It's true. And yeah, I totally get the reason why our sideboards are kind of how they are. It's Relic hits a ton of different decks, and we're in mono blue, so we don't have that many options. That's another big factor why it looks so different from this. Is this has access to 4 colors, and this has access to 1 color. And black, I guess, right? So more counter spells for like combo stuff, control stuff. So I'm just waiting for an opponent to join me. In the meantime, just check out the sideboard. This seems like overkill to me. This needs to be tuned. Actually, I should have done that just before I jumped in. Having 8 bounce spells seems unnecessary. I think Kira is pretty well situated. There's a lot of Jund, a bunch of control-y stuff. Kira is pretty nice combo with Thassa. Protects our creatures, protects our devotion. Also attacks in the air. beats ad nauseum kind of outright. Man, hard to find an opponent in a modern queue. 930. So Drake, you're playing against mono blue affinity deck. So it's like an aggro deck with Emery. What is it doing with the graveyard with Emery? Like what kind of cards is it? Is it sort of churning through with the graveyard? Bunch of big mono decks. Yeah, it's true. And Kira's not terrible, I guess, against most of those. It makes it harder to kill all of our creatures with Valakut triggers. She's just super dead to like Anger of the Gods, though. Against Tron, I mean, clearly, just like against Anger of the Gods, she just gets wiped away by an Oblivion Stone or by Ugin, but she counters like Karn. Karn can only hit our lands if she's out. Counters Ugin's sort of spot removal effect. Recurring 0 drops to ramp up Ravagers and throw onto Inkmoth. Well, that just kind of sounds like a bad hardened scales, but maybe it's not, since you say it sounds sweet. Opponent is just taking a while here to join, so I'm gonna get some more water. Counter magic in blue is interesting for sure. Oh wow, nice. What version of Merfolk are you playing? Are you playing blue green or mono blue? Are you playing Thassa, no Thassa? Maybe Curio folk, right? Are you playing any Okos or no Okos, Nokos? Two Okos. Yeah, I mean, if you're playing blue and green, you should probably be playing Okos. Those two colors sort of demand it. What is going on here? Is it modern? Oh, there we go. All right, so we've got an opponent, and we're playing Merfolk. I guess I can say, hey, Merfolk fans, thanks for joining me today. Thanks very much for joining me today. I'm Joe. Gonna play some Merfolk. Gonna do some justice to the M in my name. Well, Curio Folk is never relevant, right? It's just like one way of winning with Merfolk. Drake took it to a 5-0, which is pretty funny, pretty cool. I mean, what does relevant mean though? Like top of the format? Curio Folk? Relevant to whom? Wow, this is taking me back. I hope this is. I just need to dodge Jund with Ren and 6. All right, looks like I'm going to do that. I play a lot faster with this deck than with Rhino. Opponent kept a 1-lander, right? So now, I may just want to... Opponent's representing some counter magic. I'm going to play a land. I'm going to wait on that Mutavault. I mean, do I want them to counter the Lord? Just wait till their end step and just play Trickster. Or Adapt or whatever. I mean, that's why we play Ben. Definitely not going to fall behind on time. There are decisions to make, but we can think pretty quickly. Opponent's going to tap out for Teferi. Apparently not. Should I just bringing Trickster in? The opponent tap out here to counter this pointless 2/2. All right, more blue mana. Got more flash creatures. I'm going to play a land and attack. I like flash creatures against blue-white. Get to untap with Brazen Borrower, and if they tap out for something, then we get to smash with our creatures. So now I think I just adapt and let them kill me. Let them kill Ben if they want to. Oh, what's happening here? Up, tappy tap, tap taparoo. If they wipe the board here, I'm gonna flash and Brazen Borrower, so Flicker Wisp. What? Alright, what are you targeting? What are you targeting, buddy? Not what I expected. Targeting that, huh? There's a path. So I can just bounce this Flicker Wisp, huh? They're gonna have path up for the Lord. Yeah, bouncing Flicker Wisp seems pretty good, actually, I think. All right, so now they're going to have white up. Another Mutavault. I think I play that. And then I will swing with my dudes. Dudes and dudettes. Oh, something's getting pathed. Right on. Okay, I can adapt now, but I think instead I'm going to cast Silvergill Adept, actually. It's going to replace itself. Opponent wants to Wrath. That's sort of okay. We've got 2 Mutavaults and 2 Lords. We've also got this Flash Flyer. I don't love how this is implemented online. Flicker Wisp again, I guess. Flicker Wisp. We can play 2 Lords and just attack in next turn. They can kill 1 Mutavault this way, 1 Mutavault that way. Force is interesting, huh? So play a Lord, hold up Force, get in for 5, lethal next turn. You know, we can also hold up Force for their turn and let them get there. Maybe we just trade one of our creatures for Flicker Wisp here. Play a Lord, make them path him. Hold up Force pitching Lord, but I don't want to pitch a Lord. They could potentially have like double path here if they Ghost Core to one of their lands. Flash this guy in on their end step as another attacker. I think 2 Lords swing with everything just seems kind of good, right? Even with a Mutavault swing. Well, then I don't have Force up. Seems a little bit greedy, right? So we play Counter Magic because it works well in our plan. I play a Lord, let them path it. They'll trade one of these creatures. That's sort of fine. If they play anything else on their turn that I need to counter, I can do that. If they don't, then I can just flash in Brazen Borrower. Seems okay. Although I might lose Ben, since I don't really want to. I don't really want to adapt right now. Okay, well, opponent just takes it. That makes my decision a bit easier. So, tapping down Ghost Quarter seems good to me. I can dig it. Archaeomancer. What is this, like a pauper deck? Okay. You got it. Are they going to play Ephemerate now or something? Getting in, huh? Interesting decision. No, I know, I'm just kidding, but Archaeomancer is like a card in Pauper. A lot of their cards are not Pauper cards. All right, well, they've got Path up. Although I can go ahead and Spreading Seas. Yeah, I'm going to Spreading Seas this thing and then just get in with my Lord. I just played one of these Mutavault, so I might as well tap that. Let's just think for a second. 3 damage is free. in the air, and then once I Spreading Seas this, he can, well, no, he can float white, of course, and then I can't cast in my main phase. So play the Lord and then counter the path. So that's Lord and then counter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Activate one of these guys. Swing in for 3, 6, 7, 8. I think that just about does it, right? Yeah. I guess their last card in hand, they could have Force plus blue card. All right. Opponent's thinking. They're in the tank. But Archaeomancer, I guess, is just like the very poor person's Snapcaster Mage. There's nothing wrong with being poor, of course. It's just you don't see it very often. The path, pretty telegraphed, and then it's just a question of whether they have the force on their side. I'm guessing since they play Archaeomancer, they probably aren't paying $100 for Force of Negations. And that'll do it. All right, first game back with Merfolk was pretty awesome. That was a great opening hand. And we can start sideboarding. So, seems like counter spells are going to be pretty good. They actually have some creatures. They're not very threatening creatures. Archaeomancer cares about the graveyard, so we can think about bringing in relics. Seems like I've got bounce covered with the Brazen Borrowers. I mean, at this point, what is Echoing Truth in the sideboard for? Like, I'm not that afraid of Ensnaring Bridge that I need 8 bounce spells. This is, I guess what I mean to say is that this is a very old sideboard, one that hasn't been considered too much. Like, you can see that Kira would be pretty sweet in this spot, right? So if 2 of these Echoing Truths at least were Kira's, it would be excellent. I don't really care. I mean, maybe they could bring in Baneslayer or something, right? So I definitely have fluff. I can cut a lot of these Seize effects. I do want to keep some in though. I don't know if we didn't see any colonnades, but Spreading Seas can be decent. I mean, they should be running colonnades, right? So we take out 5 Seas. And bring in a bunch of stuff, right? So all the Deprives. Maybe 1 Dismember. Yeah, we're not cutting any creatures. This is just fluff, just air. We're fortunate that we didn't draw a whole bunch of Seas that game. Okay, what else? I guess we could bring in relics if we had any other sort of fluff to cut. Thos is great. Borrower seemed pretty gas. I loved having the flash creatures in that game. Maybe we can go down to 1 Seas. Bring in relic. 1 relic or an extra Dismember. I think this is good for now. Dismember might even be... they have creatures, so it's going to have some targets, but who knows if they're going to bring in like Baneslayer Angel or something like that. Yeah, I brought in 1 relic. Oh, this is rough. I would keep this with Ether Vial. Opponent kept with 7. And yeah, I got a mulligan. All right. Ether Vial, where have you been in my life? So I think that we'll keep and ship a land. And they're probably running Field of Ruin. I saw Ghost Quarter. I guess this plays with Ghost Quarter a bunch. I'll keep the non-basic just for fun. See if I can get them with Oboro. So Sam, I mean, sometimes we don't even bring in Relic if it's just really Snapcaster that we have to worry about. Well, that was a decent draw. And so if it's just Archaeomancer, I don't know how much I really care about Charming Prince. I mean, some kind of combo deck or something. So it's a blink deck. Oh, this could be because Flicker Wisp and Charming Prince are both run in this crazy Emrakul deck, but it's a hideaway deck, like a green deck. So hopefully the counter magic will come in handy. They went top bottom with their scries. So we can go aggro, or we can hold up counter magic. I can't imagine what they're going to do on turn 3 that would really bother us. I guess Teferi would be a pain in the butt. Oh, you think it's budget Soulherder? I don't think so. Didn't they play? Oh yeah, I guess they had paths. I was looking out for Archaeomancer though in Soulherder. All right then, I guess it's just jam lords and win basically, right? Yeah, I guess you guys are right. Unless it could still be some kind of control deck, but Charming Prince is not something that would be in control. Am I just gonna beat up on the? Yeah, let's trade. Missed your land drop. Nah. Oh, Amiria. So they must have like Sun Titan, right, or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. So now I get to play Lords and hold up counter spells, which seems pretty good. Take that, opponent. So maybe they'll play Soulherder and I'll counter it. Maybe they'll, I don't know, Flicker Wisp? Detention Sphere? Deputy of Detention? You know, I can just bounce that thing with Brazen Borrower. But I like just vialing in the Brazen Borrowers. I think I'll just counter it, right? Like, don't need to think too hard about it. So good catch, guys. I mean, like, it makes sense. I should have thought of that myself. It's just I've literally never played against another Soulherder opponent. Yeah, that's a little bit obvious opponent. But if you let me untap and play a land, I'm going to counter your path when you try to play it. Non-land permanent. An opponent controls. Yeah, good job going for it now. Oh, he's waiting. Maybe it's Ephemerate, right? That would also be another decent one to counter. I think I'm going to tick this up. I mean, is that ridiculous? Oh, he's doing it now. Yeah. Well, that was decent timing. That's the way to do it, I guess. More lands. So yeah, I'm going to tick this up. Going to continue holding up counter magic. Can't attack. This can only block flying. You guys taught me that. I'd love to get bend down, but I can just do that next turn. They're definitely going to try to, you know, land some important big spell. I mean, yeah, I should have thought about Soulherder, but when I see blue and white, I go into like crazy like defensive mode. Just like, okay, it's control. Like hunker down, like play slowly, take your time. Reflector Mage. I say nay. I counter this stuff because Ephemerate get stupid with Reflector Mage. If this, let's see, what do they got? Another Charming Prince. Probably gonna tuck away the Wall of Omens, I would guess. Okay, he's going to attack. I'm going to not block. Does it attack? It's a weird non-attack. All right. I'm not playing Master Waves anymore, right? That doesn't help me. Yeah, I have no 4-drops. So we're looking for Thassa and Brazen Borrowers, I guess. Land means that I can bend and adapt. Pretty nice. All right, bend, adapt. And that'll do. So, I mean, it's the first match I've played with Merfolk in a while, and I get paired against the deck that I've been playing for the last 3 or 4 months. Are they going to play a land and then play Sun Titan or something? I mean, I'm going to have 6 in the air next turn, 3 unblockable. Okay. Maybe they bounce the Lord here with, oh, what's going on here? Should be able to guess. Like, I know all these cards. 4 mana could be like, or 5 mana. It's 5 mana, the flying thing that gains 2 life and draws 2 cards or something like that. That was Saffron Olive. He was playing that. Good job, Drake. That's awesome. Congratulations. Okay, Archaeomancer, looking for the path, I guess. Well, that's actually kind of rough. So, okay, Archaeomancer is just replacing Eternal Witness here, so this is rather budget, but I still have the 6 unblockable in the air. It's not gonna... Yeah, Soul Blazer, exactly, thank you. I was like, with 5-0 Soul Blazer? Cloud Blazer, right, and he keeps saying, like, smoke him if you got him, or like... Blaze 420. And everybody's like, I guess, it's weird that Seth is making weed jokes. So yeah, I'm gonna flash this thing in. And yeah, let's see what the opponent chooses to path. I could have another counter in hand, opponent. I want to use it now. Of course, they could also have like an Ephemerate in hand. Well, that was a good draw. Sometimes the deck just loves you. Opponent's like, what? How many of those things do you run? And now I'm going to attack for a bunch of damage. And yeah. He's probably, maybe you could Path a Flyer, I don't even know. Okay, Path a Lord, so now he takes 9 instead of... Alright. So looking for that 6th land to play like Sun Titan or something. I've got lethal in the air right now. So he plays a yeah, Drake. Another way to go with Soulherder actually is to play more little Teferis and a bunch of like spell quellers. Oh, opponent just scooped it up. So I mean, when I was losing a bunch of games playing Soulherder, trying to figure out, like what the right direction in general to take with the deck is, just kind of thinking back to like how nice and smooth Merfolk feels sometimes. I mean, all the time, most of the time, like the majority of the time. I mean, we've got these free counter spells now, which are amazing. Extra counters in the side. These flyers were awesome, right? I mean, it's kind of what got us there just then. I mean, it was 6 power in the air. Very little the opponent could do about it. And yeah, we didn't get to see Thassa. We didn't really get to use our C's. But, we did Merfolk things and won pretty easily. Opponent was on a budget deck, and I feel bad about beating up on a fellow Soulherder player. I should have actually said something to the person, but again, I didn't realize it was Soulherder until, like, pretty far along. So anyhow, guys, I'm gonna call it for the night. I think Monday is gonna be a good day for me to stream in general. Sort of at, I finish work sometime around 7, sometimes 8, and I'll just let you guys know on the Discord when I'm about to go live. And I guess it lets you know anyway if you're following me. Which, speaking of that, if you're not doing that already, please follow me so that you get alerted when I start a stream. Also, I think it's important with Twitch, like the number of followers you have. Certain you get certain privileges or badges or whatever. I don't know very much about Twitch yet. If there's anything that you guys know about Twitch that I should know about, like if you think I should be doing something, if there's any kind of like promotions, or I don't know, honestly. I know very little about Twitch except that interacting with the viewers like this is a lot of fun, and so I wanted to start doing it more. I'm gonna upload this also to YouTube, so I guess you guys can just watch it again on Twitch because they have the replays there as well. But if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll be able to find this there too. And who knows, maybe I'll still do some of the replay videos that I did with my replays in the past. But this seems just a much better way to spend my time streaming and interacting with you guys. And maybe next time I stream, it might be sometime in the middle of the week. I'll try to sit down another time before next Monday for sure. I'd like to do a league with Merfolk. Drake, just tonight, you guys can congratulate him. Drake Gideon in here. He just got a 5-0, so that's awesome. It's great that Merfolk can keep posting consistent 5-0s. Haven't heard much about Merfolk in the like sort of tournament scene lately. It's just been a bunch of degenerate decks. I mean, like, why would you not play Urza right now? Why would you not play Oko? Why would you not play Tron? There's so much just broken stuff in Modern. And I wouldn't say the format is broken. I think that the format is really great right now. It's just a few cards are a little bit annoying. I actually don't think Oko is that bad, right? Like, there's so many answers to Planeswalkers. You've got Pithing Needle, Assassin's Trophy, and the list sort of goes on. Revoker, Sorcerer's Spyglass, plenty of ways to deal with Planeswalkers. People can start playing the Elder Spell that kills all the Planeswalkers in black decks. There's a number of answers. I'm sure Wizard is going to be printing more Planeswalker answers since they're starting to push that card type a lot. So I don't think Oko as a card needs to be banned, but I think just Urza does too much for the decks that it enables. I think that making the construct is what pushes the card over the edge, right? It comes in, suddenly you can make all this blue mana. It's like, okay, fine, you've got all that mana, and that ability synergizes with his other ability, pay 5 and sort of exile the card on the top of your deck or shuffle it or something, and then you get to cast that for free. Fine, maybe that's okay for like a 4-drop. But when he enters the battlefield and just makes like a free 8/8, it's like, what were they thinking? Like, why is that necessary? Like a 4/4 that makes like this an 8/8 by itself is fine. Like, it's crazy, right? But then you have these two other abilities which by themselves are crazy. Yeah, so Shell is saying Urza decks have like 3 win conditions. I would say that Urza himself is like 3 win conditions, right? It's like the constructs are definitely a win condition. I've gotten beaten down by those many times. Obviously, just casting cards off the top of your deck for free is a win condition. And the third win condition, I think it's like an infinite combo with Thopter if you want to play that. You just get to make Thopters and keep making infinite mana. So yeah, a card that is 3 win conditions unto itself, that costs 4 mana is, for me, I don't know. I think that card can go. But apart from that, I know the format feels really good. So I'd like to jam a league with Merfolk at some point during this week to sort of jump back in. My name is, well, online, I guess, Merfolk Joe, and it's the deck that I started playing Modern with. I have thousands and thousands of matches under my belt, and there's such a great community, and you guys are amazing. Always very polite, always very funny, always very intelligent. Really proud to call you guys brothers and sisters, and sometimes, occasionally ashamed at some of the other people that you see on Reddit, just like always talking shit about things. And it's just unnecessary. We're here to have a good time and play cards. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I will keep you posted about when I'm going to stream next. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Hope you enjoyed watching the stream. And I'll see you guys soon.